Hello. Let me see. Let me start with everyone in. Um, Here we go. Hello, can you hear me?
Is
Hello?
that for me? I can hear
Yeah.
you.
Whatever's there. Yep. I can't tell who you are because it just says T Bragg. So what's your name?
My name's Tanya.
Hi, Tanya. How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Uh,
Sorry, I was rushing I just got
oh,
off of
no,
work
no,
to
that's
come to
fine.
this.
That don't we all? I was just rushing trying to have some lunch and I went, oh, shoot, I guess I'll have to wait till break time. I teach a class all morning and then I have a break and I got busy and next thing I know, it's time. So anyway, hi, nice to meet
Absolutely.
you, Tanya. I
I
have,
am very comfortable with you eating while we talk,
oh,
by the way.
yeah. Unfortunately, since I talk all the time, eating just,
Makes it
I
hard.
understand as a receiver of the class, but as a teacher of the class, it just, every now and then I've said, guys, I need to have 2 bites of this power bar. I'm going to die and I'll take them, right? But for the most part, I can have my tea, but I can't really eat. But thanks for that. Um, so as you saw in the message, a lot of people have been to my classes before, so at the beginning there's only just a couple of us, which is why you're like, you're talking to me? Yep.
Well, I also hadn't quite gotten here to look at everything to see
No,
who
that's
was
fine.
here.
So the first thing I'm going to say is that instead of me changing your name, the name has to have, you know how under your video there's this little thing that says Teal Bragg.
Oh, yeah.
If you can change and add your actual name there by hovering over your video of yourself on the top right, there's 3 little white dots, and then it says rename,
Okay.
and then you can add first and last name. That way that helps for
Rename.
attendance.
Sure, of course.
And then most people, you can also change that in the settings. You can just put the name there so that you don't have to do it. Once it comes out this way, it'll always come out this way. So whatever you
Okay.
like, every single time you sign up, it'll say TL Bragg and you have to change it to Tana unless you go back and change it
In
in
the
the settings,
settings.
and then it'll
I
say
gotcha.
Tanya. Okay.
Okay.
So it's up to you to do it each time or to not, your choice. The next thing that we do as soon as we sign in, because next class, everyone comes in at the same time, right? So I'm just telling
Okay.
you that before I teach you anything, it's the Zoom stuff. And one of the things is after you pop in, either you add your name or you already had it added. Then we go to the chat. So if you see the chat
Okay.
over there, I'm going to say,
Yep.
hi there. And, right there, just give me a little hey ho. You don't need to say your name because it comes up that you said it. Yeah, good. Perfect. Then let me see. Here comes Yolanda. Let me let her in. But Yolanda knows this part. She's in my other classes, so she's fine. Hi, Yolanda.
Just oh,
Oh, nice to see you. I'm kind of going over stuff with Tanya, who's new to our class. Okay, so if you have any questions, let me know. But other than that, I'll be talking mainly to Tanya for a little bit. All right. Yeah. So yeah, Tanya, you were asking something?
only that I'm a slow typist. So I find chat is hard because whatever I was answering is very 3 pages away by the
No
time I get to
problem.
it.
We don't use the chat much. You'll see it. There's a lot of back and forth. I'll see you now how that's just literally with some buttons that you're gonna press. I'm gonna show you in a minute. The chat is to kind of sign in the morning, and then if at some point I'm talking about something that you suddenly have this question like, oh, it has nothing to do with what I'm saying, right? But you don't want to forget it. A good thing to do is put it in the chat. Like, oh, I wanted to ask her this thing. Just put it in the chat. And so it kind of lives there. And then when I get around to answering chat, I'll go, oh, so Tanya asked, da, 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 and I'll answer it. But it's not for immediate type of questions because, in fact, it's the last thing I see. So every now and then I'll have people write something in the chat like, actually it doesn't happen much in the iLife class. In the class where I'm asking people operating system, I say, okay, everyone, write in the chat, what's your operating system, for example, right? And so everyone has to answer. But for the most part, and it's never a quick thing. It's just you get to it when you get to it. But for the most part, the chat is just for those kind of things. Another thing I use the chat for is 99% of the messages should be to everyone, like it says there, to everyone, and anything that has to do with anything that has to do with the class or with photos or with the apps or any of that, it all goes in there. But every now and then you might gonna go, you know what, my belly hurts. I'm gonna stick up for an hour. You don't want the world to know your belly hurts. You can just say to me and then write that to me, that kind of thing. So you don't have to tell everyone, hey, I'm feeling sick, that kind of thing. So that's good too. But other than that, for the most part, it's just class questions and answers and people greeting and stuff like that. Um, the next thing that we do is when we have a bunch of people here and the class is full, so we'll have a bunch of people. Um, I'm constantly checking in with everyone. The way I teach is not, I just talk and do stuff and then everyone has to kind of stumble around figuring it out. Rather, I'll be demoing something, I'll show something, and then I'll say, okay, everyone, go ahead and do that. And then if it worked, give me a yes. If you have no problems, life is good, give me a yes. If you have an issue, if something didn't work, give me a no. So what do I mean by that? Um, Down there in all the buttons that you see, do you see one that says react and it's a heart? Okay, click on that one, and then you have like rockets and thumbs up and all the
Oh,
cute
yeah.
stuff. The yes and the no are the green check mark is the yes, and then the red X is the no.
Got it.
So if you click on one and then click on the other, as you see it changed, if you click on it again, you turn it off. Most of the times, I don't want you to turn it off. In fact, unless you've changed your mind or something got fixed and now you're a yes because I fixed your problem, you're a yes. But other than that, what I wanted is to keep it on. And a lot of times you might not notice that you clicked on it twice. And then if I see the whole class and I see three people haven't answered, I'll be like, Tanya, what's your answer? Yes or no? So instead of just, a lot of the time people assume it's obviously a yes. Well, I don't know that it's a yes. Did you
Right.
do it or not do it? So just give me a yes. You know what I mean? And then what happens is I'll have, after a while, people learn and they give me a yes. But at first, people are like, no, 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 no. And then after I've called your name three times, you go, oops, I don't want her to keep calling my name. And then people begin to answer because I will follow up. I want everyone to know what I've done. And if you haven't been able to do it, I will help you. So if you say no, I'll go, okay, Tanya, how can I help? And you'll explain what your issue is, and then we'll work on from there. And then I'll go, okay, Maria, how can I help you? Hey, Yolanda, how can I help? And then when everyone's green, we move on. Does that make sense? Now, there you go. Yes, perfect. Now, that doesn't mean you can't talk at all. Um, you'll see that, if I'm explaining something, right, and you go, which button did you say? Definitely speak up. Say, which button did you say? This is more like when I'm saying, okay, everyone, if you're a Mac, give me a yes. If you're a PC, give me a no. In this case, this is a Mac class. Everyone's a Mac, but I teach many classes. So I use them as other stuff too, not just as yes or no. So like, why are you a no because you're a PC? Well, because I just want to see where my PCs are and where my Macs are and stuff like that. Or if you have a newer operating system, give me a no. If you have an older, give me a yes, that kind of stuff. So I'll use those two all the time, a lot. Now, the other one that I use there a lot is the raise your hand. So say that you do have a question. I'll say, okay, everyone who's trying to do that, and then you come up with a question
Mm.
that's relevant, to the moment, not some like offbeat thing. The offbeat things, put them in the chat, but the relevant
Right.
questions, then raise your hand. Go ahead and raise your hand. Now, you're the only one here, so you didn't see it much. But when there's 20 people or even five people and you raise your hand, your video goes top left. So then you
Oh,
pop to my top left. And then Yolanda has a question and she pops up after you. And then, Mary pops up third. So I start answering in order of who raised their hand first. So if you were the first one, I'll say, hey, Tanya, what's your question? We'll deal with it when it's done. You can either I can lower it for you, but sometimes I forget. Or notice that now that same button says lower hand, or you can lower it. Sometimes we both forget to lower it. I'm talking 5 minutes later, I look and I go, oh, Tanya, is that a new hand or is that an old hand? Basically, is it a new question or is that we
right.
forgot to lower it? And the worst thing that sometimes happens is that you lower it and then I lower it and somehow we cancel each other out and it gets raised again. And it's because we lowered it. So now and then I'll go, is that an old hand? And that's basically is like, do you have a new question? I
Okay.
try to ask, do you have a new question? But sometimes I'll say, is that an old hand? That's basically what I mean. Um, and then you kind of pop down, and the next person pops to the left, and then I'll say, okay, who's the next question and stuff like that. So that's the raised hand. And sometimes I need three answers, and I'll say, okay, if you are doing this, give me a raised hand. If you're doing that, give me a no. If you're doing that, give me a yes. And I'm using them. Why do I use them? Because they stay on. Go ahead and instead give me one of the cute little rockets or hearts or something like that. Give me one of those. They're awesome. If I'm funny, laugh, that's great, but they're gone,
They go away.
right?
Oh,
And then
interesting.
when I look at the group, I don't know who's a yes and who's a no. So for when I need a yes and a no, many people try to give me a thumbs up because that's kind of how we're accustomed to doing texting. But in this case, the thumbs up disappears in like 2 seconds, and then I'm left going, ha ha ha, great. And then it'll disappear. And then I'll like, who laughed? Who laughed? Oh, someone laughed over there. I don't know who laughed. Right. So the
That one stayed on.
single ones stay on a little bit longer. They stay like
Oh, it went
four
away.
seconds and then it goes away. The
Interesting.
the ones that cross up disappear, but the ones that stay on, yeah, I think I counted it once 3 or 4 seconds, and then they stay.
Sorry,
It's
this is fun.
fun. It's fun. And I love it. And now and then I'll make a good joke and I'll have a couple of laughters. Awesome. But when it's, hey, give me a yes, give me a no, I'm just yes or no, it's green or red and raise hand.
Okay.
If you're ever the plumber arrived or something happened, you have a work call that you can't miss or something like that. If you're still there, oh, here's someone else, then you can click on that be right back, and then I won't be like calling you, because if I don't know you're not there, I'll be like, Tanya, Tanya,
Right.
you're not even there. Especially, and this happens when people don't turn on their videos, because I don't know if you're there or not. If you have your
Right.
videos and you're not there, obviously I won't call your name. Hi, Mary Ellen. Nice. I haven't seen you in a little bit, huh? I can't hear you. It's been since, yeah, at least
How
a
was your
few
trip?
months. It was wonderful. We had Tanya will here right now, but a lot of the people who are in this class heard about this amazing trip that I just took this summer. And in this class of all things, you'll get to see the photos, because this is the class where I share my photos album, and you guys are going to see, well, actually I have like 20,000 photos, but I got quite a few selected that I threw in there for the class. So we'll be telling you stories. It was amazing. It was incredible.
So cool.
So thanks for asking. So I'm kind of telling Tanya some of the Zoom basics and how the class whole is there. So hang in there for a minute. Yeah, I've been gone. Normally I teach and then I have a week break and then I teach again, but I've been gone for 2 months. So it's like, hi, I haven't seen you all. It feels like to me like it's been forever. It's been 2 months, but and depending when your class ended, it might have been like, 3 weeks or something. All right, so someone's coming in that I don't know. All right. Here we go. Once they connect to audio. All right. They can't hear me yet. So when they can hear me, I'll talk. And still connecting to audio. There we go. Hi, how are you? Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Seems to me like your sound is not connected. Yeah, now it's connecting to audio again. I can see that your audio is not connected. Whenever I see a mouth moving and I can't hear them, I tell you that, because otherwise you might think I can hear you. Oh, there we go. Now you're connected, but you're muted. So go and click on the audio button to turn it on. So on the bottom left, the audio, click on that to unmute yourself. There you go. Now I should hear you. Go ahead and say something.
Say something what?
Yes,
For me?
there.
Oh, yes. My name is Anna, Uniana, or
Okay.
Uniana, whatever. Anna. Yeah,
Okay.
everyone call
Would
me.
you, Unyana, do you
Yeah,
prefer, or Anna? Which one do you prefer? I'm
yeah.
happy. I'm going
Oh,
to
yeah,
tell you my name too. My name is not the typical name. My name is Diana. So
yeah,
it's not so different from Unyana. And my
yeah,
sister is Lydiana. So we're in this whole like Anna ending thing. So
yeah, yeah.
Unyana works for me. It's never Uni, it's just Unyana.
Ah, in America, most people call me Anna, and my family call me Anna, and then
Huh?
my
Okay.
my school friends call me Eunhee. It's a public Korean name. I
Eunhee?
came here many decades ago. Yeah, from Korea, South Korea.
Well, you tell me what your preference is because I'm just like you. I'm from Argentina, and most
Ooh.
people call me Diana or something like that. I'm like, no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
my name is Diana,
Diana.
and
Yeah.
it's Diana. And hey, I that's my name, and so people get to learn it. So I totally respect you saying the name whichever way you want me to say it. So if you prefer Unhi or Anna or
No, yeah, whatever. Yeah,
Diana,
whatever you easy. And then, oh, I love Argentina. Not many
oh, that's
places, but
great.
last winter I visited. What is the capital city? Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires. You were in Buenos Aires.
Yeah, that is Argentina. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The
Ah,
capital of you
yes.
were there. Oh, how
Yeah,
wonderful.
yes, yes.
I really so
I'm so glad.
I'll get to
Yeah,
see some of your
I
pictures
love
of
that.
it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm glad that yeah, place and people. Yeah, very much.
I'm so glad to that.
Yeah.
All right, so Bob, you're here. Are you
Uh,
Bob Moran or what Bob are you? Hi, Bob.
Burtness.
You're Bob Burtness. Okay.
Yes.
Because I have two Bobs in this class. And let me go ahead.
Mine is spelled with one O.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Don't laugh. Now and then I do have some people that even Bob I have been seeing spelt in different ways. As obvious as Bob might be. Plus on the roster, you're down as Robert. The other one is down as Bob, so it could be confusing. Here comes Mary. So Bob, do you know how to change your name on Zoom? Because right now it just says Bob, and I need your last name to be on it as well. And I can change it for you, but I'd rather teach you how to change it yourself. So
Okay.
on that black box where you are, like your video would be, if you hover over it, you'll see that on the top right, three little dots here,
You'll see that
white
on the
dots.
top right, three little dots here. Right.
I just muted Anna. Can you click on those three little dots and then you'll see a rename appear and then you can add your last name.
I
If not,
see my name. I've done this before, but I forget how to do it.
hi Mary, by the way, I'll be with you in a sec. Yeah. So just when you see it, when you hover with your finger or with your mouse over the black box that says Bob, on the top right of your little corner, it'll say three little dots on a blue box.
Okay,
And
I'm looking
click on
for
that,
that.
it'll say rename. Do you see your box of yourself that is just a black box?
I see this and then mute and then more.
Okay, so on those three little dots, click on
Uh,
those and kind of halfway down it says rename. Somewhere around there it'll say rename.
uh,
And then you can add your last name. And by the way, I'm always happy to add it myself, but since you're going to have to do it every time, unless you
yes.
change your name in the settings of
Uh,
Zoom,
okay, I don't see
then
any dots. That's my problem right now.
okay. Are you
Oh,
on a
wait.
are you on a
Okay.
are you on a Mac
Oh,
or on an iPad? On a computer or on an iPad? Because that makes it
uh, oh, rename.
there it is. You found it. Rename. Perfect. Good. Now add your last name. Put Burtness in there too. Because I need your first and last name. And the first one could be what you want to be called. Like instead of Robert, you're putting Bob. But your second name has to be the one that's on the roster. So later I can figure out attendance. So can you go back into rename and add Burtness to that? Bob, can you hear me? Did your sound turn off? No, your sound seems like it's on. If you're talking to me, I can't hear you, Bob, okay? Sometimes something is happening and maybe the sound is down, but we were talking just fine and then I stopped hearing you. So let me know if you can't hear me. So for everyone who just arrived, you might notice that in the chat, by the way, hi, Mary. Nice to see you again. Hi, hi. So here's the thing. And I'm going to go to the chat again, and I've already said hi a bit earlier on, but you guys don't see anything that's there before you sign in, right? So if I write hi right now, it should be the first time you see something in your chat. Do you see a little hi up here? Okay, so go to that place and go ahead and you give me another little hey ho, I'm here, hello, good morning, good afternoon, whatever. Good morning wouldn't be what you'd say good afternoon. or it's a good time to ask me questions or stuff like that. Yeah, great to see you too, Mary. So Bob, I'm not sure what happened there because I can't hear you anymore. If you can hear me, go to the chat where I just wrote hi and write to tell me if something's up. Like you can hear me, but I can't hear you or stuff like that. Sometimes when some like there's get this like silence happens, it tends to be. Oh, there you go. You wrote your last name. Perfect. I see the rename appearing, but I can't hear you. So if you're speaking, just so you know, I'm not hearing you. All right. Oh yeah, a smiley face is a perfect little good afternoon thing. Thank you. All right. So, some of you guys have been in my class a long time ago. Some of you were just in my classes, and some of you have never been in my classes. So I think this is the first time I've met you, Unhi, Unhi Anna. Now I'll get good at it, but you need to remind me. Well, your sound is off, so whatever you're saying, I'm not hearing it. You need to unmute yourself for me to hear you. So Tanya and Yunhiana are new to me, so I was explaining to Tanya, so I'm going to go over that again with you. And a reminder to everyone else that whenever we talk in class, of course, you can stay unmuted if there's no noise behind you, no dogs, no people walking around. You just stay unmuted, and that's fine because you can just speak up and I hear you. But if there's noise and things happening, it's easier to be muted and then to unmute yourself when you need to. So that's up to you. Now, if someone walks in the background and starts talking to you, I can just mute you from here so that we don't hear that going on. So don't worry about that. But if you're aware that someone's always here in and out, or then just keep yourself muted. All right. So when I ask things to the group, I need people to answer. Because if I say, "Hey, did anyone take a photo today?" And then I'll hear, yes, 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 that doesn't work. So if someone took a photo today and the answer is yes, then the way to answer would be to go down to the reactions button. So down in all the buttons, one of them is a heart and it says react. Go ahead and click on that one. And now everyone give me a yes. And by a yes, I mean click on the green check mark. So the green check mark means yes. And if you did not take a photo today, then give me a no. So if you took a photo today, give me a yes. If you did not take a photo today, give me a no. And the no is the red X. Okay. So now I can go ahead and look at the whole group and see, it'll probably be something much more appropriate to the class to say, did you take a photo? And then I'll say, oh, Mary Ellen didn't answer. So, and Bob didn't answer. So I'll go, hey, Mary Ellen, did you take a photo today? Is that a yes or a no? And if sometimes I'll need to help you find it again, find where the yes and no's are. And the same with Bob. So do you see the heart that says react? Oh, there you go. You found it, Mary Ellen. Okay, how about you, Bob? Can you see the react button?
Yeah, I had updated Zoom today and it had different icons.
Exactly. That's why I'm kind of walking it through because yes, you've done it, but they change it. And it used to be called reaction and it had a smiley face. Now it has a heart and it's called react. So Unhi, it seems like you clicked on it again and turned it off. See how I don't see it? And when I ask people to say yes or no, I need you to leave it on. Once the whole class has said yes or no, then not the video, your video can stay on. It's just
Okay.
the yes or no has to
Oh,
stay
yeah,
on.
yes, sir. Oh, yeah.
If you took a picture today and it was a yes, or if it was a no, go back and give me a no. Perfect. So now you all see how it's going to work. I look at the class, I see my yeses, I see my nos. Now, if this is an issue like that needs to be fixed, so say that I'm telling people, do this, do that, follow my directions, and then I go, oh, okay, so if that worked and if you got it and all is good, give me a yes. If it didn't work, if something's a problem, give me a no. So then I'll look and I'll probably have 10 yeses, 5 nos, and then 5 no answers. And so then I'll go, okay, first of all, the no answers, please say yes or no. And then I'll start going, okay, so Mary Ellen, how can I help? Or Mary, or Mary, how can I, Mary and Mary Ellen, okay. Mary, how can I help? And she'll say, well, this is happening to me. And I'll be like, okay, and we'll fix it. And then when everyone is a yes, then we move on. Okay. So need to leave it on. especially if it's a no, so I can help you, but if it's a yes, so that I know that you're taken care of and I'll move on to the next person. The other thing that the reason I use these two, Unhi, is because these stay on. If you use any of the other things, they're fun, but they disappear after like 2 to 4 seconds. So go ahead and try. Give me a thumbs up, and you'll see that the thumbs up will disappear in like 3 or 4 seconds. And there's the top row, they kind of fly past and they're funky. And then the second row has a thumbs up that stays there for about 4 seconds. And then it disappears. So then you thought you answered, and I'll look at you and you'll go, but I answered. And what you did is you gave me one of the ones that disappear. So that's why yes and no don't disappear. Okay. Now, the next thing that we use is the raise your hand. And so if you look under the yes and the no, there's a possibility to raise your hand. Go ahead and raise your hand, everyone.
Where is
Got a
it?
little gnat flying by my face that's driving me crazy, and I did not get it. So one of these days I'll get it.
No, raise it
All
up.
right. So the same place where you did yes or no, right underneath that, it's a long button and it says raise hand. So in the reaction button, same place where you said no,
Mhm.
and then right under that, there's a thing that says raise hand. Right under the red or green. Can you find it? There you go.
Mhm.
Bob just raised his hand. Okay, so go back to where you said no.
Oh, yes, yes, I have it.
There
Yes,
it is.
yes, yes.
Right under. Perfect. All right. So, Bob, you just raised your hand and then you lowered it right under the same that when you raised, now it says lower. But remember, don't lower your hand unless you're done with your question. So normally when you raise your hand, you keep it on. And notice that now everyone shifted position. I don't know how much it shifted for you, but now Tanya is first, Mary is next, Mary Ellen is next, because they were the first, second, and third to raise their hands. So if they have questions, I will answer in order. So say that I finished answering Tanya's question, I'll lower her hand. Now Mary is next. And then I'll say, okay, Mary, what's your question? When I'm done, I'll lower her hand. Now I'll go, okay, Mary Ellen, what's next? And at some point I'll get to Anhi and Bob. And I try to answer questions much more often, so I don't tend to have 5 people waiting. Usually it's 2, 3 max sometimes. So it's not like I'll let you sit there forever. But every now and then, if suddenly everyone has a question, you're welcome to all raise your hands and I will answer in order of hands raised. And then I'll clear everyone's feedback after the yeses and nos have been dealt with, and then we'll move on to the next thing. So the one thing I need you to do is to always answer yes or no. Now, what happens when I'm sharing my screen? So if I share my screen, sometimes there's no way for you the yes and the no are in a different place. Not that there's no way, but it's harder to see it. So I'm going to share my screen right now. And I'm going to be sharing my screen most of the time, and it'll have stuff on it that matters right now. It's just my basic screen. And there's a couple of things that are happening. First of all, go ahead and if you see my shared screen, give me a yes. So now you need to go find where to give me that yes while I share my screen. And I'm going to, by the way, join us on my second computer, because that's where I will handle the Zoom. So give me 1 second on that. And here we go. Okay. So so now you'll see me on another place down there, and that's there. So Unhi, have you been able to find, and Bob and Yolanda, can you find the yes now that I am?
Yes.
And it looks like
Yes, it's green. Yes.
looks like we lost Tanya. Okay. Tanya.
No, I'm still here. I just had
Oh,
to,
there we go.
I
No,
was
we
trying
didn't-
to change without
No,
being obvious.
no, for a moment I saw
Tanya.
no problem, no problem. You don't have to turn yourself. For some reason I stopped seeing. I was like, wait, I saw one more person in there. Okay. You don't you don't need to have your video on all the time if you want to get changed. I'm sorry. For a second, I was since I just joined myself, then I went, wait, there's someone missing. Okay, so everyone was able to find the yes. That's awesome because when I share, things change. Now I'm going to stop my share, but now there's another thing that happens. And this one is the one that is an easy answer or a not so easy answer. And let me just tell you that this portion that we're about to do is the hardest of the entire 10 week. Is it 10 weeks, 8 weeks class, 10 weeks class? I don't know how many weeks the class is right now. My brain is not on that, and if you have never done this, bear with me because the rest is easy. This is the part where people sometimes get confused. When I share my screen, and I'm going to now do that one more time. Has my screen filled your screen? Are you now suddenly seeing only mine and nothing else?
No.
Oh, let me clear your answers. If so, and if all you can see is my screen, then give me a yes. And if instead you can still see me kind of on a corner and you still see your screen, then give me a no, like Mary Ellen did. Okay, so for those of you who said yes, and it's usually people who are new, although Tanya, you seem to have it handled, then what happens is that when I share my screen wants to take over yours because, yeah, you're supposed to be learning, sitting there watching. But this is not a sitting there watching class. This is a hands-on doing class. So what I need you to do is to watch me and work at the same time. So I'll demo something and you will do it because watching, no one ever learned. It's doing that matters, right? So how are we going to accomplish this? For the 3 people who said yes, that I've taken over your screen, and maybe, first of all, the easiest way to solve this is to have another screen where you watch me, and then this screen where you do the work. So if you happen to have an iPad or an old computer, an old laptop lying around, something that still works even if it's not too good. Hi, Harry. Nice to see you. So this is mainly for Bob and for Unhiana. Do you have another device that you can turn on to watch?
Oh, yes, iPad.
You have an
Old one.
iPad.
Yeah,
Okay.
can I do that?
Yes, that's the
Yes.
easiest. So go find it. And
Yeah.
then can you reach your email on that iPad?
Yes. Yeah.
Then click the link for Zoom on that email.
Oh, yes, yes,
and
yes.
The second time. Now, this is important. When he listened to me for a second,
Uh-huh.
when you connect on your iPad,
Mm-hmm.
it'll say connect with audio.
Mm-hmm.
Say no. You
Oh.
want to have 2 microphones in the same room.
Mm,
So
oh.
when you connect on the
Mhm.
second device, go ahead and say no to the sound.
No
And
sound.
then when I'll see you, I'll let you in and we'll talk. If the sound is on, then we're going to have this reverb and I'll tell you how to fix it. All right, Bob, do you have another device of any kind that you can watch the class on? I can't hear you, by the way. I heard you at the beginning and then I stopped hearing you. So just so you know, if you're speaking, since I can't see you, I'm just telling you that I cannot hear you. If you're answering, I don't know. So I'm going to wait until you either speak or you can write in the chat if you do or don't have another device. Now, Tanya, you said that I'm not feeling your screen. That said, it's still easier if you have another device to watch me, if you have one. But if you don't, that's fine. No, yeah, I know. Hey, sometimes. And some people have a second monitor, which I've gone to the thrift store and bought a second monitor, plug it in, and there's your second device. The phone doesn't work as a second device, A, because we use it in class, and B, because it's too small. If I'm telling you, click on this thing, and you're like, what thing are you sharing? So it doesn't really work as a second device, and because mainly, okay,
Wait.
so,
Oh, wait a
Unhi,
second. Yeah, how can I put the
the
sound?
sound is now doubling up, and that's why we have, okay,
Yeah, I know. Mute. This is?
mute sometimes helps and sometimes it doesn't. Go ahead and speak.
Okay. Oh yeah, unmute. And then how can I off the sound?
Okay, so since the sound isn't fixed by muting it, there's two solutions. A, when you sign in, you say no to sound. But since you're already in with sound, then the second thing you can do is you can turn on the iPad sound again, unmute yourself, but on your computer, you can disconnect the sound.
Mm.
Okay? So go ahead and put the sound on the Zoom again, even though it'll be a reverb. And then on the computer, I'm going to stop my share because it's easier to find the buttons when I'm not sharing. Go to your sound on your computer. Do you see where it says audio?
Mm.
On your computer?
This is an iPad.
Okay. But on the iPad, I don't know how to disconnect your sound.
Oh,
So
okay.
now
Yeah,
on the iPad, you're going to have to turn it on
Yes,
again.
yeah, maybe I can find it. Okay.
No. Otherwise, Tanya, Unhi, just disconnect your sound on your computer. It doesn't matter. You need one sound on. It doesn't matter which. So leave the sound on the iPad. You can hear me through that. But go to your computer now. I need you looking at me on your computer. Because it's not about muting. It's disconnecting the sound. And I can teach you how to disconnect your sound on your computer, not on your iPad. All right. Good.
It's okay.
That's the sound. Okay, now go to your computer.
Yeah.
Okay. On your computer now,
Mhm.
go to the audio button.
Audio.
On your computer now, the computer, not the iPad.
Mm.
On the computer, go to your audio button on the left.
You know, where's the Diana?
Unyana, I'm talking to you.
Yeah, I using just a phone and iPad.
You're on a phone?
Yeah, iPhone.
Oh,
And
you're not on a computer.
Oh no, I don't use the
Oh.
computer. Yeah, I started the iPhone, and then it's so small, so
It's too small.
yeah,
Yeah, it
I'm
won't work.
waiting for that, and then
Yeah, so disconnect from your phone. It won't work. Go ahead and disconnect from your phone.
my
Just
phone is off.
leave the class of the phone. It's too small for this. And we need it for the class because I'll be teaching you how to use your phone. And if you're on Zoom, you can't use it. So, okay, so then,
Oh,
okay, so then I'm going to rename you here. If I can remember, Unhi, Anna. Oof, what was your last name? Unhi, Anna, Here we go. Okay, so I renamed you. But actually, it's good to know that this is an iPad. I'm going to rename you and write iPad. And you'll see why. I need to know what device people are on because it makes a difference. Like right now, I thought you were on a computer. And the whole time I kept saying, go back to your computer. And you were like confused because you were actually on a phone. So yeah, I need to know what device people are on. So Harry, just so you know, you've been appearing as Harry Zizikun, and that's been happening all the time, in our class too. So it's in the settings that you need to change that. I'm going to rename you here now so that I can get your right name, but you need to go to your settings where it says that and change that to Yun, okay? So that you don't have to be changing it all the time. Otherwise, you're appearing as not you. Okay. All right. So this is going to be slightly more complicated, Unhi. If you're working on an iPad and your photos are on the iPad, right? Then you're watching Zoom. And so what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to do the work for the photos on your phone. And I will be always showing how to do it on the computer and on the phone. But yeah, it might get a little bit confusing because this is how the class is going to go. I'll first demo something on the computer, Photos app. Then I'll demo it on the phone. And for people who have an iPad, it's a combination. It'll be like the phone or like the computer. Okay. So I won't demo the three devices. I will demo just the phone and the computer because if iPad is always either just like the phone or just like the computer. All right. So my need is going to be that when I share my screen, so right now I'm going to open my Photos app on my phone, on my computer. So when I share my screen and I'm sharing this, which is my Photos app, you need to be able to move me kind of to the corner so you can see my demo, but you need to have your Photos app open as well so that you can do on yours what I'm doing on mine. Does that make sense, you guys? Yeah, I know. I understand now, Winnie, how come it's a bit harder for you because you're on the iPad watching the Zoom, but it's the same iPad where you probably handle your photos, right? Or do you handle them on your phone? Where do you do for your photos? If you organize your photos or do things, your sound is off again, so you need to unmute yourself for me to hear you. I can't hear you. You need to unmute yourself. I know, it's okay. I see mouth moving. I had to warn you. So, hi, Molly. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. Okay, whenever you unmute yourself, and we can talk. You're still muted. There we go. All right. So, so when I'm demoing things and I'm showing them, you can follow on your phone.
Oh, phone. Okay.
You can follow on your iPad, but then you'll have to kind of hide Zoom. So maybe it's not such a bad idea to have your phone connected.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, if you have your phone connected, you can do both. Anyway. Hi, Bob. Second
Well-
Bob. Bob, you're the second Bob today because Bob Burtness is here too. So here, I'm going to change yours to Bob Moran so that I can.
Okay, thank you.
That's good. All right. So, Unhi, let's see if you
Yeah.
can say not to sound.
Okay.
So now do the same thing you did before where you turn the sound off on your iPad. You're disconnected. Okay, good. All right, looks like that's it. So Tanya, you do have it set up that you can see me and see your own Photos app on your computer? Are you able to do you have enough space that you can see my demo and you can also open your own? You're good with that? Everyone else here, I think knows how to do that. Is there anyone else? I'm going to stop my share who is not set up with either two devices or half your screen. So Mary Ellen, okay. So how can I help?
Oh, no, I
okay.
am set up.
You are set up, okay. And Mary?
That no was from before.
Got it. And then Mary, oh yeah, these are other answers. So these are from before. So Mary, are you set up now with corner screen? Okay, so then let me clear everyone up. Okay, so you're all ready to go. All right, what time is it? Is it time for everyone to join us yet? What was my email to you guys? I think it was
Hmm.
2.
2:15, you said.
Because 1:45, 2:15.
Oh,
Okay,
2:15.
so at 2:15, the last people should be joining us, which is pretty much now-ish. So, and we did all the Zoom stuff. Oh, sharing your screen. That's the last thing. Sorry, I got thrown for a minute there. So sharing your screen. So here's the deal. Sometimes you'll follow through, life is good, everything will be yes. And then now and then it just won't work for you. And you don't know why it doesn't work for you. And you explain it to me and I can't understand. Sometimes I understand and I tell you what to do, and other times I don't get it. So then the only solution is to say, okay, share your screen. Now that works really well for the computers. But when you're on your phone or on your iPad, sharing your screen is much more complicated. So ideally, when you're on your phone, we won't have to share screens. But I do want you to know how to share your screen when you're on the computer. So I can give you a hand. And just so you know, sharing your screen is always the quickest solution. For those of you who think that sharing your screen, oh no, I don't want to stop the class. I want you to know that sharing your screen is the way to go. It's the way to go faster because then I see your problem immediately. I tell you what to do, you fix it, we move on. It takes a total of 20 seconds versus you're trying to explain it to me during 5 or 6 minutes. I can't understand. You don't understand. Everyone's confused. And next thing you know, you're like, oh, I'll give up. I'm not coming back to this class. That would be the worst case scenario. So now, if you know how to share your screen, if you remember how to share your screen from other classes, or if you've shared it before and you're comfy with that, give me a yes. If you don't remember, it's been a while, or you've never done it, give me a no. By the way, hi Vera. Thanks for joining us. Hi May-san. Nice to see you guys.
Hello.
All right, so it's a yes if you know how to share your screen. It's a no if you don't know how to share your screen. And if you guys notice, some people are joining in with 2 devices, like we're seeing Mason 2 times, Vera 2 times. I think Bob usually is in with 2 times. That's because they have a different device doing this that I said, right? So anyway, okay, so Tanya, let me give you a hand on sharing your screen. Have you ever shared your screen before? No. I think you're saying no to this.
I guess I could just talk to you.
Now we need to talk.
No.
Yeah, to walk you through
No,
sharing
I've
the
never.
screen, we need to talk. All right. And the reason I'm
I'm
asking is
assuming it's
because
the
on
button.
the Mac, when you share your screen, the first time takes like 7 steps because you need to give your computer permissions because the privacy is very important. And so they won't let you share your screen without first. That's it. The second time it's like click, click. Okay. So I'm going to walk you through sharing your screen for the first time. And read to me every message that appears so that I can tell you what to click on next. All right.
Okay.
So head down to the share button. It's right next to the React. It's the green one. Click on that one first.
Says
Then you have like another share button at the bottom of what you see next, and it's blue with white letters. Click on that one. Now it said something.
open system settings.
System settings. Perfect. Go ahead and say open.
Zoom, turn
Good.
on.
Perfect. On the right side, tick the little slider to turn on Zoom, and now it'll ask you for your password.
May not be able to record the contents of your
That's
screen
fine.
until it quits.
Oh,
That's fine.
So-
Don't quit. Don't quit. Say later.
Later. Okay.
Perfect. You're set. Now go back
Okay.
to, now you're ready. Now go back to Zoom and share, and this time it'll share. So those are
So full
those are
screen or just one?
just
Okay.
now
Sorry.
the whole screen,
Share.
doesn't matter.
There.
Perfect. Now you can say aloud to that.
And
then you
would
can say,
like to record this.
yeah, go ahead and say open
Screen
system
for on.
settings again one more time. And then
Okay.
you can just close this from the top left, just close the red button and it's gone. Perfect. You're done. And then
Okay.
I'll just stop your share and now you're not sharing anymore and life is good. Perfect. Harry, you had said no, but I think you've shared before. I think you might have just forgotten. Do you need a review or
Need
Or-
a review.
review? Okay. So let's get down to the share button.
Green color, green.
Yeah, keep the sound on so that for this portion we can talk nonstop. Okay, so go to the green button. Then there's another button at the Bob, your sound is reverbing. Okay. So the other Bob, not Burtness, but Bob Moran. Okay. Harry,
Yes.
go down this and the bottom you should see a new share button that's blue with white letters that says share. Click on that one.
Blue.
Go ahead and unmute yourself permanently for this time that we're talking. Otherwise, it's very hard to. I can't hear you. Go and unclick the audio button. Because he's doing this thing where if Zoom is your main app and you hold a space bar, you can talk and then let go of space bar and it goes back to mute, which is good for only when
Okay.
Zoom is your main one. But then when you're on the app for the photos, it won't be your main one. It won't work. Okay, Harry. So did you click on the green share button?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Now,
I did
the
the
next
blue button.
one. Okay. Did it say like open system settings?
Yeah, I do
Okay,
have
click
that
on
one.
settings.
I click right there.
All right. So now you should see on the right side of your screen, you should see the word Zoom somewhere. And if you find the word Zoom on the right side of your system settings, there's a slider on the right, a little button that needs to go blue. Click on that. Did you find it?
Let's see.
What are you looking at?
And on the setting now.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So on the
That-
right side, you should see zoom.
Zoom. Okay, hold on. Zoom.
Don't look on the left, look on the right.
Right. Oh, zoom. Yeah, they have a zoom.
I can see the direction of your eyes. That's why I know you're looking at. Okay.
Yeah.
So now turn on the zoom. There's a little
Uh-huh.
green button. When you click on it, it'll ask you for your computer password. So go ahead and give it your
Okay,
password.
turn on Zoom and then using password here.
Yep. Put in your user password. And then it'll
What-
say quit
what co-
or do it later. Go ahead and say later.
Hold on, one, two, three.
First put your password in. Yeah.
And then that's with the quit.
Now we're later. Go ahead and say later.
Oh, later. Okay, later.
Say
Okay.
later. Okay. Good. Now you're ready to go. Go back to Zoom and now click
Back to
the share button
share button. Here you go.
and then share again the blue button that appears at the bottom. Perfect. You're
And
sharing.
then
Now say
allow.
allow. Go ahead and say allow.
Allow.
And then on this one, say open system settings again.
Okay.
Good. And now close this window.
Okay.
Perfect. You're done. So from now on, sharing is just share. Green button, blue button. Boom. That's all.
Green and blue button.
Okay.
Everything. Photoshop. Everything.
Everything. It's just sharing.
So
Okay,
also sharing. Okay.
I'm clearing your answers because it looks like everyone's a yes on sharing. Perfect. We are ready to go. Thank you, everyone who just joined us. I think at this point, most of the people here, other than people who can't make it. Unhi, you're gonna have to mute yourself or turn the sound off on the iPad. Remember that you had done that once. You managed to take the sound, disconnect the sound, because otherwise that thing is happening. Okay, great. All right. So those of you who might not remember, I need you to sign into the chat. So I'm going to say hi there in the chat, and right there, wherever that chat appeared, if you haven't yet written anything, please give me a little hey ho, I'm here, hello, nice to see you, that kind of thing. And we are ready to get going with our class. All right. So let me see. Hi. This is the beginning of the Living the iLife class. Up until now, it was just Zoom. Now I am here to teach the class. Yay. Now I have some questions. First of all, thank you, Uni. Who has, who takes photos on an iPhone? And trust me, sometimes there's people here with an Android. So it is a valid question. If you take photos on an iPhone, give me a yes. If you take photos on an Android, give me a no. And if you take photos on a digital camera, give me a raised hand. So raised hand for digital camera. And if you take an iPhone and digital camera, then raise your hand for digital camera, because that's like, that includes both. And the only one that should be saying no is if you're having an Android. All right, so Mary Ellen, you also do a digital camera. Anyone else here using a digital camera? Harry, don't you use a digital camera sometimes? Yeah, so click the raised hand. And is it Vera? No, Vera. Oh, all right. So see those little thumbs up that flew by, Harry? They're really fun. Under the yes and the no, you see a long bar, and that says raised hand. So go ahead and click on that one to raise your hand. That's a thumbs up. Keep going down. Keep going down. The thumbs up will disappear in like a couple more seconds. So look where the green yes and no is, and right under that, there's a long one. It says raise hand. Right under the yes and the no. So no, not that one. That's still the thumbs up. You're going above the yes and the no. So look at the no, the red X, and then go down. There we go. Raised hand. Perfecto. You found it. Cool. All right. So 2 of you only with digital cameras. I'm pretty sure Vera, don't you use a digital camera? No, you use your phone for photos. All right. Why am I asking this? I'm not trying to be intrusive on your information. Rather, there's different ways of getting the photos handled and available and stored and together, depending on what device you take those photos on. Okay, so I'm seeing that we're spared the Android question this time, but we do have people who take photos on their phone and on digital devices, on digital cameras. So when we get to the whole how do we download those photos from here to there, Harry and Marilyn and Mary Ellen, remind me that you guys need that extra explanation, okay? When I say who else had a digital camera, because when I ask 3 weeks from now, I'll need Mary Ellen and Harry to remind me again. Harry, I know because you take a lot of my Photoshop classes, but Mary Ellen, well, you also take those. But for some reason, I forgot that you took with the digital camera because you can take the Photoshop and all those classes with my, with your, with photos from the iPhone as well. It's pretty amazing. Okay, so I'm going to clear your answers. The next set of answers is, this one is one of the few that I asked you to go to the chat and write. So I want you to go to the chat and tell me if you take photos, like what do you take photos of and what do you do with them? Like just photos, my family, my friends, my trips. That's good. Or no, I sell my prints or I make art with them. But mainly, how do you organize your photos right now? If you do you do it on your phone or do you do it on your computer? And some of you would go, organize, I don't know what that's all about. Or, yep, but I mainly use my phone. Or, yep, I only use my computer. So if you're just taking photos because you're taking photos of your everyday life, your parties, your friends, your neighbors, all that, that taking photos of your neighbors, that sounded bad. I meant like, because they're friends. But mainly, where do you handle them? Do you handle them on your computer? Do you handle them on your phone? So for example, Mary Ellen said that she handles them on Lightroom. Molly, you both use your computer and your phone. Okay. Trips and photos. Vera, you haven't organized them in a while. So at this point, it's like organize, I don't know, somewhere. That's why I'm in class. It could be, you could just answer, I don't know, that's why I'm in class. That would be a perfect answer. Bob, computer and phone. Okay. Mary, I used to organize them on folders of my computer. Yeah, that's how we did it in the olden times, back when we weren't creaking on our bones. But looks like you kept going till 2022. So now with the new iPhone features, I hope I don't have to do that and access them more on my phone than on your computer. Yes, you can access them both on your phone and your computer. We're going to handle that. And the organization, no matter where you do it, it appears on both sides. So it's not like you need to do it half and half. Whatever you do appears on both. So perfect. And yes, anyone else has lots of photos on your computers that you forever used to download and transfer and put in folders? Yeah, if that's you, give me a yes. Because for those of you who have that, the question is also, well, how do I put all of this now into the Photos app to organize, right? So then that'll be another part of the learning. Let me see, Tanya, all you do is do some favorites and a few albums, mainly handling on the phone. Okay, perfect. So the iPhone, and she says she wants to learn editing programs, which mainly on the iPhone, on the iPhone or on the computer, the Photos app, which is the one that I'm mainly going to be teaching, has a lot of editing features. It's pretty impressive for a non-professional editing feature. You'll see how much we can do on it. That said, I also teach people how to use Photoshop and other programs where when you want to take a few steps forward and do some real editing, then that's what you would need. But you'll see it's pretty amazing what the Apple programs can do. Mason, you take trip photos. I guess what photos you take wasn't really so much the question, more like how do you handle them? Like I take the pictures and then they just languish on your phone, or do you do something with them afterwards? Lightroom says Harry, and yeah, you go out, you travel and take line strips and stuff like that. You need to learn how to add your digital camera images to the photos. Yeah, I deleted digital images from the camera. How can I retreat them to the photos on my Mac computer? Yep. So that's part of the thing I'll be teaching you. So great. And I'm also going to be teaching you how to deal with those photos that are lingering and lounging around some other little device, and how to bring them also back into the whole set of photos. Because when you organize your photos, you don't want to have photos here, photos there, photos there. Oh, these are over there, these are there. You want to have them all together. There's some exceptions to that. I have photos that I use on a professional level. As a photographer or graphic designer, that I never really introduced myself, did I? I missed the introduction part. Some photos some of these professional photos that I use, I still have on the Photos app, and then I handle them differently in my file management. Because it's so simple to have everything together. And then I have a few clients where I don't even put their photos in a Photos app because it's just like brochures and stuff. They just stay with my folder. But if they're going to be photos that I take on my phone, then I'll handle them by putting in separately on my phone. So I'll show you all that when we get to the organization. iPhone and iPad, managed through my phone. Okay. So I'd say that it's more prevalent for people to organize on their phone than on their computer from these answers. And then a couple of you also use Lightroom. I don't see anyone saying Bridge, which if you've taken my classes, you should be using Bridge as well. But anyway, okay, cool. Has anyone never organized? Well, Vera, you said you haven't done it since COVID. Anyone who hasn't, just all you do is take pictures, but you don't organize them or do anything with them beyond like even trying to find them is hard because you have, 20,000 photos, and whenever you need a photo, you have to waddle through 20,000 photos to find them. Is anyone in that position? Actually, let me answer. I'm expecting to see a lot of people who, when you need to find a photo, you basically have to scroll, 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 scroll until you find it, and you're tired of doing that. And that's why you're taking this class. If that's you, then give me a yes. 223,000 photos on your phone. Yep. That is pretty typical. And when you need to find something, what do you do? Have you found any features yet that make it easier? Scroll. Yep. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Can you imagine scrolling through 223,000 photos, which is about a regular amount of photos to have at this point in our lives on our phones? Yeah, you might remember, oh, that was 3 years ago. So then you scroll fast until you get there. But sometimes you don't even remember where it can be, and you're like, oh, give up. And that photo languishes in the depths of your photo rolls, right? Okay. So there are lots of tips and tricks. By the time we're done with this class, you'll be able to pretty much pinpoint, I'd say, depending on how long you sit there organizing stuff. If you really sit there and take it to heart and organize a lot, you're going to be able to pinpoint, I'd say, 80% of your photos. There's always going to be some miscellaneous photo you took one day that no matter what you do, until you see it, you don't know where to put it. But for the most part, it'll be much easier to find your photos. Okay. So clear the feedback. So who has never used the Photos app on the computer before? The Photos app. If you've never used the Photos app on your computers, give me a yes. Okay, no yeses there. How about, okay, Maisan, you haven't used the Photos app. All right. How about, oh, here comes Diane. All right, here we go. Hi, Diane, can you hear me? Hello, Diane, more than anything, I want to make sure that you can hear me. There you go. Yes, you can hear me. Okay, good. All right. So Diane is in another one of my classes, so she's good with the whole yeses and nos and all that. So I'm moving on. So Diane, I'm asking some questions about welcome to the class, by the way. And I'm asking questions about how people use their computer and their phones as far as organization and photos and things like that. So the first thing that I had asked was how many people use the thing that I had just asked is how many people use the Photos app on the computer or have never used it was my question. So Diane, just really quickly, have you used the Photos app on the computer before? Ever? The question from Unhi, what is the photo app? Exactly. That means you haven't used it. So there we go. And Diane saying no. Okay, so Unhi is a no. So there's a couple of people who have not used the Photos app. So we're going to go and talk about that. Now, how about your phone? Now, a lot of you guys are going to go, oh, yes, I've used it. And what you'll discover is that you've used the camera, but maybe you haven't used the Photos app. So I'm going to share my phone right now. And give me a second. I'm sharing my phone right now. It always takes an extra second more than it does to share my screen for it to pop up. There we go. So you should be seeing my phone right now. And if I discovered this as I was teaching with asking these questions, that a lot of people actually, the only way you access your photos on a phone is to click on the camera. If that's how you access your photos, by clicking on the camera app and then clicking on this little icon here to get to your photos, if that's what you do, then give me a yes. That's the camera app. And you might have it down here, you might have it up, you might have it in different places.
No, I don't have it.
If that's what you do, give me a yes. On your phone, if you go to your camera app to take a picture on the one hand, but also if you then want to see photos that from before, your solution is to go over here and
Camera.
access your photos, which is a, pretty good option. If that's what you always do, then give me a yes. And I'm closing.
Camera.
All right. So that would be, at this point, I'm seeing 3 people saying that.
Wait.
Now,
Yes. Wait.
you want to
yeah.
say yes, Molly? Okay.
Yes, it's just that I lost you a little bit.
That's fine. All right.
But
Now,
yes,
there's
yes.
another app on a phone, and that phone, that app is the Photos app, and it's called Photos, and it's this little colorful flower. If you have ever used the Photos app, and I know this sounds weird that I'm saying, if you've used it, say no, but yeah, give me a little red X no if this is the app that you use, which is the Photos app, and when you click on it, that you begin to see your photos. If this is what you use, then give me a no. So no if you use the Photos app, yes if you use the camera app.
How about the both?
What about both?
Well, if you use both, then default to saying no, because my goal is to teach you this one, right?
Okay.
So if you use it both, then that's fine. Then
use
give
both.
me a, but I need a
No.
yes
No.
for anyone whose only way of accessing their photos is the camera, which I found last time a lot of people answering that that's how they access their photos. Oh, the ones who used to be a yes have now switched to a no. Okay.
Okay.
So Unhi, on your phone, when you want to see all your photos, what do you open? Do you open your camera or do you open that one there? I know because you were trying to ask. You open that one. Okay,
Mhm.
you already
Oh.
answered. Okay, because I know before you were trying to say something. All right. I think most of you have answered by now. Some of you have your second computer. Okay, good. So then that's good. So you know that this is where we organize and handle our photos, and this is where we take them. But I was so surprised to discover last time truly that a ton of people, they would just open that and then go here. And you'll notice that while this is similar to the Photos app, it isn't identical. And if you want to go to it the way the Photos app works, you can click on this little arrow there, and then you're back, you're back into your camera, right? So you can't really get in as easy, you can, but it takes much longer to get into all of the different features that the Photos app has. Okay,
Photos.
so you
Photos.
guys have already been working on the Photos app. So
Photos.
this Photos app is the one that I'm going to show you how to use on the computer. So I'm going to switch my share. I'm going to go over to the Mac Photos app, which is this one. And if you've never used the Mac Photos app before, I need to move the roster. So the Photos app, I'm going to share my entire screen instead of just that. So if you've never used the Photos app before on your phone, on your computer, then either it's living on your dock because that's where it
Dock.
normally is, down here, or you've taken it out of your dock and you don't have it here anymore, and then you need to go find it. So if you see the Photos app on your dock, please click on that so that it opens. But if you don't see it there, and Unhi, I know that you have an iPad only, so you wouldn't find it on the dock. You're basically talking about the same app on the phone as on the iPad. And it used to be that the iPad and the phone did less than the computer. The computer did much more, but more and more, the computer and the iPad and the phone can all replicate each other. Now, is it easier to still do things on the computer because you have much more space when you're talking about organizing 200,000 photos? Yes, it's much easier to do it on, because you can just only grab 2,000 photos and move them from one place to another. On the phone, that's much harder to do. But can you, with a lot of patience, select 2,000 photos on the phone and move them somewhere? Yes, you can. It's just more complicated. Does that make sense? But now they are very, very similar. There's still some things that you can only do on the computer that have a lot to do with organizing, which is keywords and things like that. So we're going to explore that. But for now, I'm going to start by explaining the Photos app on the computer. And the thing is that the Photos app on the computer now is very visually similar to the Photos app on the iPad. So the phone is so much smaller that it actually appears differently. But the iPad and the computer are pretty similar in how they show up. Okay. Now, when I say that on the left side, I have this bar, this sidebar on my computer, but not everyone might have it. So if you don't have it, it's probably because your window is kind of small. So see, when I make my window smaller, that sidebar disappeared. It just is gone. I don't have a sidebar. So if you don't have a sidebar, which you're going to need a lot, I need you to grab the edges, the side of your window, and make it a little bit bigger so that the sidebar appears. All right. So if everyone has photos and a sidebar and it kind of looks like mine, then give me a yes. And I'm talking about my computer right now.
Look at this.
All right. Unhi, what's it like on your
Second.
iPad? Do you have the sidebar?
Okay, let me see.
Okay. I'm going to mute you because I can't. The sound is very uncomfortable when you mute yourself. So can you say yes or no whether you have a sidebar? Like the sidebar is this right here. It might it have different words or things like that, but this is a sidebar. On the iPad,
Mine is it.
sometimes it just shows up like that. Sometimes it shows up with depends on the size of your iPad, in fact. And I don't know what size iPad you have.
Diana,
Yes.
I don't understand. Do you ask me this screen with a sidebar? Can I see? Or your question is, do I go to my photo app and then it comes up like this? Or what is your question? Exactly, I don't know.
So on your iPad,
iPad, yeah.
hopefully you found the Photos icon and opened the Photos app.
Oh, so my. Oh, yes. If I open my photo app, it must be this Zoom screen must be gone. Not yeah, forever gone, but it's change the screen, the photo.
The screen should look very similar to mine
Yeah,
here.
yeah. So
And it's not.
so all right. I try to, okay.
Okay, go ahead and open your iPad now.
Yeah.
And then next time we really need to figure out your sound because it's
Oh,
very
yes. Got it.
now because it's very hard. So
Yeah.
you had done it before on your iPad. You had managed to turn off your sound. If you can do that again, it's not unmuting yourself, it's disconnecting the sound on the phone or on the iPad, on one or the other. Otherwise, it's going to be very hard each time you speak because of that sound. So if you can figure out how to do that again, that would be great. And then you turn the sound on all the time on your other one, and then we don't have that reverb. Okay.
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
All right, so I'm seeing yeses,
Yes,
like they're
yes.
all, okay, I need everyone to see their sidebar. So I'm not seeing complete
Yes,
yeses
yes, yes,
everywhere.
yes.
So my question, to be clear, give me a yes if you can see your sidebar. Okay, now in this sidebar, oh, let me share my screen again. Now I'm going to share only this sidebar. And for those of you who have also an iPad, go ahead and make sure to have it nearby. So when I'm always going to start demoing in one of the devices and then I'll demo it in the other to show the differences and where it is. But sometimes I'll start on the computer and then show you the phone, and then I'll show you something new on the phone, and then I'll show it to you on the computer. And as I said, if you have an iPad, it'll look more like the computer. But sometimes if there's no space, it'll kind of default to being like the phone. So it's kind of half and half. All right. So where we're going to start off is by making sure that on the left side, we are selecting the word library.
Mm-hmm.
And on the top, we're going to select the word all photos. Now, you might not see years, months, and all photos. You might be
Yes,
seeing, and I'm going to make this window a little bit smaller again. And you might be seeing that it only says either all
photos.
photos or months or years.
Yeah,
So if I go down to years,
yeah.
I am seeing this as years. If I go into months, then I'm seeing each month per year. And if I go to all photos, I see
Photos.
everything.
Uh-huh.
So on the left side, if you have the library turned on, nothing else, the library is every single photo that you
Yes,
have on your computer.
yes.
Now, I'm going to clear my answers, your feedback. So either all photos this way, or if your window is a little bit bigger, then you have the choices of years, months, and all photos. Everyone should be in all photos and all photos. And now, if you go to the very bottom of your photos, which you default just by clicking on the word library, it defaults to the bottom. It'll say here that you have however many photos you have. Now, this is a sample library, so I only have 1,200 photos. I know that most of you guys are up in the tens of thousands, okay?
1,000.
But what I want to know is whether your computer has the same photos as your devices. So here you have a number. Write it down. Maybe if you want, write it down on the chat, but then you won't have that number. But it's so that you know. Does everyone see this number?
Yes.
Okay, so if you click on library and all photos like that, just those two, even if you were scrolling around and then suddenly you kind of go back to library, it defaults all the way to the latest photo, and then it shows you that number.
Mhm.
Okay, so now Hold on to that number in your head.
Okay.
I'm going to stop that share and I'm going to share my phone and I'm going to show you how to find out on your phone how many photos you have. And then my big question will be, do you have the same photos on your phone as on your computer? And depending on your settings, you might or not have the same photos. And that's the first thing we're going to tackle. Where are your photos? So let me show you my phone. Okay. I'm going to go into the Photos app right there and click on it. And this time, when the default setting is this one, I'd have to scroll all the way to the very, very, very bottom. Oh, it wasn't even there. Oh, did they change it? It used to be all the way at the very bottom.
Right there.
Now. They don't have it there
Right.
now. Oh, okay.
Now it's under the word photos.
Yeah.
Top.
So down here where it says photos, just the default, like when you open it, just where it falls
Yeah.
over here, it'll say 1,273 photos, it says. Now, it doesn't mean 1,203 photos. It means items. Well, it actually says items because on the computer, it said 1,201 photos and 72 videos, which translates correctly into 1,273 because 1,201
Okay.
plus 72 gives me 1,273 items. It doesn't distinguish right here
Oh,
between photos
okay.
and items. Okay,
So
so
let's see.
now, if you found this number, hold on, this shouldn't have gone. If you found this number, the answer I need, let me clear your answers. The answer I need is yes. If
Oh,
the
I got
same
it.
amount of photos on your phone as on your computer as on your iPad, because you can do this also on your iPad. So if that number is the same, then give me a yes. Hi, Carol. Thanks for joining us. So I'm showing people how to find out how many photos you have on your different devices.
Okay.
So we're comparing if the same amount of photos are on your phone as are on your computer, it's meaningful to me as far as the settings go, which is a very important yes or no. So if you need help having me show you again where to find that on either one, I'm happy to demo it again. But if you're here, I'm not exactly sure when you popped in. Have you heard any of that? I think no, you think you just popped in. So on your phone, let me show you again. You find that out by, here comes my phone, give me a sec. Okay. Just on the default setting that your phone opens up, over there where it says photos, then it'll say 1,273 items. That's the number that's on your phone. And I'm expecting that you all have well into the many thousands of items. Did you find that, Carol, on your phone?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
done.
Now, instead, I'm going to share my Photos app. And how to find out how many photos are there, you need to have clicked Library on the left side and All Photos on the top. And when you have those two settings, then at the bottom, instead of saying 1,273, it says 1,201 photos and 72 videos, which if I add up is the same number. It's 1,273. If it's the same number, give me a yes. If it's not the same number, give me a no. I've already got 2 no's, 4 yeses, and I need everyone else's answers.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So let me see, Mary Ellen. Oh, okay. Unhee,
Yes. My phone number,
yes. Okay.
number,
You're
My-
looking at your phone on your iPad, right, Unhee?
the iPad number is different. Do I put the yes or no?
Is it different than what's on your phone? Do you have the same numbers on your phone as on your iPad?
No, different. Because usually I using more a phone to take the for taking a picture.
Okay, so then give me a no. Give me a no. If you have a different number, give me a no. Mary Ellen, you were a no before, now you're a yes. Did something change or was it the wrong answer?
Yeah, I synced the phone to the cloud.
All right, that doesn't mean that your computer still has the photos because then you need to sync the cloud to the, so on the computer, do you have the same stuff that you have on your phone?
Yes, I have the same stuff on the phone as the
Okay.
computer, as the iPad.
Okay, perfect. So there's a whole bunch of reasons why the people who said no don't have the same things. 90% of the times, well, it's always the settings. 100% of the times it's the settings that you choose. What makes a difference is, do you want to have the same stuff on your phone that on your computer or not? And is it a problem? I remember Tanya saying how she's got 200,000 photos on her phone, 200,000 and counting on her phone, and she doesn't want them all on her phone. Can you have them separately, not on your phone? Which is what's happening to Mary, Harry, Vera, and Mason. And Unhi. But in her case, it's from her phone to her iPad. You guys who have iPads also check your iPads, okay? Because that also might be a different number. So, well, I'm not good at numbers, but is Vera is
let's see.
264 plus 471, does that up to 34?
It doesn't add up, and I think some of these I've received, and I don't keep track of the ones I received.
It doesn't matter.
Receive
You
'em.
receive, it's still counted.
Somehow they're on my camera roll too.
So let me see, 2646 plus 471, 3117. So on your phone, you have more than on your computer, but not much of a difference. So we need
Not
to
much of a difference.
explore and see what that difference is. There's like
Yeah.
300 or 250 or so photos
Yes.
different. So we need to figure that one out. Anyway, 117. So I'm making numbers. You have 327 photos that are on the phone, but not on your computer. Okay. And Tanya is saying that there's a different number of videos on the computer than on the phone, but the photos are the same number. So on the phone, you've been able
Yeah.
to break down the number, or you've gone to the videos tab and it gives you
I
the
went
number.
to the tab and looked at the
Okay.
differences, but the
All right,
photos
well,
match.
that's interesting. And let me just say that sometimes, and this is, I'm not sure this is the answer, but sometimes the videos, especially if they're very long, every now and then there'll be a video that can't download if you took it on your phone and it can't go
Mhm.
up to the cloud and download into the computer. So we'll look and see. In this case, it's like almost 100 videos that either missing, or sometimes there are things that are considered videos in one device that are considered just live photos or long exposures or things like that on the other device that are technically videos, but they show up as photos or vice versa. So we're going to explore to see if it's one of those issues.
I
Or
believe, I'm sorry. I believe the video, I'm not worried about it because I believe the videos were like dot movies from before I got this phone. So they weren't created with this phone.
okay. And here's the thing. That said, you should still technically have the same amount of stuff on one than on the other if the system settings are correct. So we're going to talk about that next. So yes, talking about photos and getting into our photos and doing photos is really fun, especially when I have so many new photos because I had this amazing 2-month trip with photos from all over the world, and it's like great, and I'm going to tell you all about it as we go. But we got to kind of climb the mountain first. And climbing the mountain means understanding where our photos are, how to handle them before we even start to organize them, because I want to make sure that everyone is pretty clear where and what they're doing. I'm doing a screenshot of these answers. This is one of the most important answers right now, which is who doesn't have the same stuff. And then you get to choose if you do want the same stuff and what it means and what changes you need to make if you want every photo you take to just appear on your computer versus if you want every photo you take that you would need to drag it yourself by connecting your phone and da 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 da. And so it's two very different not workspaces, workflows. And both work, so we're not going to say that one is better than the other. Definitely one is easier than the other, and the easiest one is to have the settings such that you take a picture and it just pops into your iPad and your computer. You don't want a picture, it disappears from your iPad and your computer. You organize a picture in an album, it gets organized in your iPhone and in your computer. So that's the easy system. And the not so easy is to have them separate where the phone has some stuff, the computer has other stuff, and the iPad has a different way. And when you organize it, you're basically treating them all individually. Okay. So like Bob Moran just said, I have a much lower number of photos on your iPad. So then the settings of your iPad are set up differently than the settings on your phone and your computer. So what we need to do is equalize the settings, because if your computer and your phone have the same amount of stuff, then we can have it also be equivalent on the iPad. And then you might go, I don't want all those on my iPad. Now, here's the thing. There's a very important setting that I'm going to have you turn on or off, depending on your needs, which minimizes the size of those photos on your phone and your iPad to fit your device. And the one place that holds the whole big photo is the cloud. So we're going to talk about the cloud. We're going to do a lot of talking about all that kind of stuff in a minute. Not in a minute, in a few minutes here. The thing is that some of you joined a short time ago, but for the people who joined at the beginning, we're midway through the class and this is when we take a break. So for those of you who just joined, you're like, really already? And for those of you who've been from the beginning, you're like, oh, finally. So we're going to get to this. As of next class, everyone joins at the same time. And this is about-ish the time. I try to find a time when I'm done with one subject matter before we started another one to call the break. So it's not like mathematical in case you have a call or something, but about this time is when we're going to take a 15-minute break. Now, we are at a good time for that because I'm about to begin to introduce the whole concept of the settings and the cloud and all of that. So let's take a break, walk around, pump up your system, your blood in your brain so that it all is able to come in, drink some water, and we'll be back in 15 minutes. And what I'm always going to do is I'm going to put in the chat the time so that we don't just say 15 minutes and it's kind of 15 minutes. It's actually 15 minutes. So right now it's 3:04 and I wasn't checking to see if it just changed or not. So let's go ahead and say it's 3:05 because that's easy for me to calculate. And we're going to be back at 3:20. So I'm going to say be back at 3:20 p.m. And I highly recommend, since y'all are iPhone users, that you would pick up your phone and talk to Siri and tell Siri to set a timer for 12 minutes. That way, wherever you are in the house, you have 3 minutes to make it back in time. Let's be back at 3:20, okay? See you guys in 15. Hello, hello. I'm back. So let me get clear your answers, although I don't Tanya, Mary, my son, and Vera. Okay. And your answers there. All right. Go ahead and give me no, don't give me a yes for now. We'll find out together the next step. All right, so welcome back. Hopefully you had a good break. I have, I'm gonna share my screen here. I'm gonna start with the computer. And what we're gonna do, I'm gonna share, this is, hold on, let me move this over. Sorry, I'm moving something over to the left, so I can't see what I'm showing you to the right. Okay, there we go. All right, so, give me a yes if you've taken others of my classes and you're really comfy going to class handouts, and give me a no if you have no idea how to get to the class handouts, even if you've taken my classes, but it's been a while or you just need a reminder. So then give me a nope, like as in nope, I do not know how to get to the class handouts. And then I'm reshare actually this window only. And I'm going to ask you to go to a browser, any browser. And I'm going to show you how to sign up to the school, not sign up, but to enter the school my.sbcc dashboard and get to the class handouts. So yes, for those of you who know how to do this, then just go for it, go to the class handouts. And for those of you who don't know, then open a browser. All right. I'm about to share a handout with you, but before I do that, I thought, well, let me first share it. You don't need to have the handout open because I'm going to share on the screen. You'll see it from me. But later, if you want to know anyway where the handouts are, and one of the handouts that I send that I have is always the class recording, the class summary. So any links that have to do with the class go in there. So you need to know how to get here. All right, so we're going to start by writing my.sbcc.edu and then hitting return. So I'm going to put it in the chat. It's my.sbcc.edu. That's where you need to go. You can click on this link and it'll take you there, but then you won't know how to do it on your own. So please, if you can't get here, let me know. Then you're going to put in your school pipeline password, and then you're going to enter your password unless your computer remembers it, and then you're going to log in. So once you get to this page, which is the SBCC dashboard, give me a yes. I'm going to clear your answers, and I need a yes if you've made it into here. The browser can be any browser. It does not need to be Safari. I'm on Safari because I'm teaching people how to use their Macs, but you can be on any browser to do this. Okay. Bob, he, my son said yes. Mary Ellen said yes. Okay, so right now Vera said yes. Sometimes I have to look at your two. No, Vera didn't say yes. Yolanda, Vera, Unhi, Molly. Did you get into your school dashboard? Now, some of you might have this red bar here, some of you might not, that's okay. And it won't see employee and faculty resources, it'll say student registration and stuff like that. But it'll be your dashboard, and I need to know how to help people get in if you haven't yet. So do you need a hand, Molly? Who else? Vera is in, Marilyn is in. Okay, Bob Burton is, you just made it in. All right, So Molly, do you need a hand? I can't hear you. You're muted. I don't know if you didn't answer or if you can't get in. Because you're muted. Carol, did you get in? I
Not
can't hear
yet.
you.
Not
Okay.
yet.
All right. If you need a hand, let me know. Otherwise, if you're just kind of working your way in, that's good. But I don't want to leave anyone behind. Molly, do you need a hand or you're just kind of going there? I can't hear you, Molly. Why don't you unmute yourself so that we can communicate?
I'm fine. I'm on pipeline.
Okay. So just so you
I,
guys
I,
know,
yeah, I got in.
perfect. Just so you know, pipeline only exists in our email address name at this point. They have discontinued or are about to they keep saying they're about to discontinue it, and I think it is barely functional, the pipeline system that we used to use. So now it's always you have to go in through my dashboard. In case you have really gone through pipeline, this is the new way to get in. Okay. So then if you don't see the red bar, then it's hiding, like if your window is bigger, once again, you see the sidebar. That is, see how I said that was a Mac thing for the Photos app? Well, it's a computer thing. Now, if you have a big enough window, you see this red thing. If your window is a little bit smaller and it doesn't fit, then to get that red sidebar, you need to click on this little icon that shows at the very top. And then to get it out of the way, you have to go to this corner. So that little, it's called the hamburger item, bread, meat and bread, that you click on it and you see the menu bar. And then you have to click on this one that's the same icon, only has an arrow to close it out. All right. So I need people to go to this red bar and then scroll down until you see Gmail. Gmail, click on Gmail, and this will take you to the school email, to your school pipeline email. Once you are here on the top right of this email, it should say SBCC. If not, if you hover over this and you have a personal Gmail in here, then that's not good. You need to be in your SBCC pipeline.sbcc.edu email address. If you are in your pipeline email address, then you're good. And now you need to go slightly to the left and find this icon. It's called the waffle icon because it looks like, oh, there we go, hamburgers and waffles. This is the other, that's a hamburger item. This one happens to have one more line, so it's got lettuce as well, but that's considered a hamburger icon and it's considered a waffle icon because, of course, of the dots. So now, once you're for sure that you're in your pipeline Gmail address, and you know that, as I said, by clicking, here it says DE Musaki pipeline, then you click on this little waffle icon. And this little waffle icon, we need to go to your drive. So I'm going to stop, clean the feedback. And now, if you have found your email, made it to this thing and clicked on the waffle icon and made it to your drive, then you should be here in your school Google Drive. It should not be personal stuff. It should be school stuff. And then here we're going to go to shared drives. All right. When you make it here, give me a yes. And meanwhile, I'll be giving people a hand. Yes. Molly.
Yeah, mine disappeared. I don't know where it is.
So how about
All
share your screen?
yeah.
All right. So open your browser. Over here, you have your Safari.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And you mentioned that you're in pipeline, but just in case, try putting my.sbcc.edu. Just type my.sbcc.edu up there.
Because I'm on screen.
Yeah. right here. Type,
Wait, I don't see you.
at the, where you would type an address, kind of up there.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
So sometimes Zoom hides the top of the screen. So click in there. You have to click in there in order to type.
Mhm.
Click in there with your mouse. Where it says search or enter website name. I think you might have Zoom in the way and you're not seeing it because you need to go a little bit higher than what your hand is.
Mhm.
Usually Zoom kind of appears like that and hides all of this. So you either need to grab it from the black stuff and move it out of the way, or need to grab the Safari and push it down so that you can
Oh,
see.
okay.
Yeah, there. All right. So
Okay,
now
okay,
here,
okay.
type my.sbcc.edu.
Mhm. Oh, my,
My dot, yeah, it's not
my.
edu, that's where we used to go. It's my.sbcc.edu. Okay, cool. Now hit return.
Deanna, my shared drive
Wait,
only
wait, wait, hold
shows-
on, hold on. You forgot the dot. So it's SBC, nope, you forgot the dot. So let's try again. My.sbcc.ed. No, you made a space there.
Mhm.
I know, until you get accustomed to it, it's weird. It's not a good comfy name. .edu. There you go. Now hit return. Perfect. Sorry, I shushed you, Vera. I was just trying to correct her typo. And look, it's also missing a dot in there. So it,
Oh,
again,
I'm sorry.
this time just go in there and put,
I,
go in there and just add a little dot in there. Dot. And now, yeah, now you can go there. Yeah. Perfect.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. You guys need to learn not to use Google. You went to Google. That's fine. Go ahead and go there. You were there already and now you're
I
doing,
was there already. Everything
Yeah,
was
yeah,
set up.
okay. So here we go.
Here we go. I'm right here.
Okay, so now go over and I hear you have a question, Vera. Give me a sec. Over here, let's expand this little bar so that you can get to your Gmail. So over here, go to this little guy. Yeah, and now go to Gmail.
Mhm.
Okay. And this is your Pipeline Google Drive. And then over here, and this little waffle icon,
Mhm.
yeah, click on that. And now click
Gmail.
Drive.
Okay.
Cool. And now we're going to go to shared drives. Oh, looks like you guys aren't in. Hold on. That's probably what Vera was trying to say while I was shushing you. Give me a second. Looks
Mhm.
like I didn't get your guys's class connected, which is not good. Give me a second. That's my bad.
Sure, sure.
I was helping people get here and I was forgetting that I didn't get the 81442. Give me a second here. Hmm. 81444 442. Here we go. And send. Okay. There we go. See how it just appeared?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, you
this is it.
have iLife. Do you see over there the iLife shared drive now?
Mhm.
Okay. So now double click and you're in the class handouts. Okay, perfect. All right. Anyone else who wasn't able to get in because I hadn't shared it with you guys, I'm going to stop your share because you're good now.
I'm good
Please
now.
try again and give me a yes if you're in. Sorry about that.
We forgive you.
Well, thank you. It takes so many steps to get each class started and
That's
now,
right. So,
but yeah, that's good. I need to see yeses and those who are not no's, I can give a hand. So give me a yes if you made it in. Carol, how can I help?
I'm not sure, Diana. I got into the pipeline, I thought, then I got into Google.
Okay. And is shared drive, some people click on shared with me. Are you in shared drives? Not in shared with me,
You
but
know, I said shared with me. Okay, I'll go back.
it's shared drives.
Trying to get there again.
Mhm. It's just on the left side, choose the second choice instead of the first, the top
Okay.
one above instead of the second one. Bob. Bob Burtness. Go ahead and let me know where did I I kind of leave people behind on the trail. Where did I leave you? Where are you at? Can you speak up, Bob, or share your screen or something so that I can see where you're at? Unhi, you have to go to the shared drive. I see you said you have a drive. How can you have your pages? You need to do the steps that I just showed so that you can get to the shared drive.
Oh, do I have to follow your step?
Yeah, you need to go
Oh,
to the browser.
even though I have my what the drive.
That's your personal, it's your personal one. If you're in the
Yeah,
city
it's a
college
personal one. Yeah.
yeah, the personal one, it doesn't work because
Okay.
I can't
Okay.
get into your personal one. What
Yeah.
I do is in my school Google Drive, I have made
Mm,
a folder that has
yeah.
a lot of information for you guys, and I am
Okay. Oh, sorry.
enabling you to use it.
Oh, and so could you tell me from the email?
Yeah, I'll show you again. Did you go to
Sorry.
a browser and open my.sbcc.edu? So do you have Safari? Do you have Chrome? Whatever you use to get to the internet? What app do you use to go to the internet?
Oh, Chrome.
Okay, open Chrome and then type my.sbcc.
Oh, no. I already have a mail.google.com in your mail in my screen.
Okay, but is it your pipeline email? Your
Mm-hmm.
school email? Okay.
Pipeline. Yes.
All right. So then on the top right,
Top right. Yeah.
choose the little waffle icon and go down to the drive.
Oh, I
Share
cannot
my
find it.
screen again. I'm gonna share my
Oh, wait
screen.
a second. Oh, you.
Okay. So it looks a little bit different. You don't have these tabs
very
there, but
different.
this icon there, do you find this one?
Oh, yeah. Wait a second. Just find it. Oh, no. I cannot find that one. No.
So when you're in an iPad, it just opens up.
Oh, yes. iPad, I have it. Oh,
Yeah.
wait a second. I will go using my iPad, okay? Can you give me the time, please?
Yeah. So
Oh.
you need to go to your Gmail.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Said that you were in your pipeline Gmail. Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you're in your pipeline Gmail,
Mm-hmm.
right next to that, you should
Oh,
see
yeah.
somewhere
I see
this
that.
little icon.
Mm-hmm.
Click on that and then click on Drive.
Drive, okay. Now it's
Tell me what you see.
no. Oh, yeah, pipeline.
Bob, give me a second because you're trying to share, but I'm sharing right now. So give me 1 second. All right. So this is why it's much easier when you have a computer where you can share it. On an iPad, you can't share it. So I need to just wait until you tell me where you are. So where are you, Unhi?
Yes. Oh, yeah, email and drive.
You found the drive. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
Once you get to the drive,
Not like this, but screen said email and drive. Not same like your, wait a second.
so are you here? Are you here? And
Oh,
here
I
where
didn't,
it says email and drive, are you seeing this?
wait a second, I didn't see.
Is this what you're seeing, email and drive?
Yes.
Okay, then on the left side,
Mm.
you need to find Gmail.
Oh, yes, yes. Oh, yeah, Gmail.
Because this drive does not take you to the shared drive, so it's no good. I've asked them to change it, but they haven't changed it. So you need to go here.
I got it. But soon.
And then
Mm-hmm. Touch.
click on your Gmail. Are you seeing this now?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, drive. Got it. And about not, yeah.
So you're in the drives now?
Shared drive.
Because you land here in home and you need to go down to shared drives. But tell me where you are, because I don't know. Are you here now? You're muted. You muted yourself suddenly.
Yeah, now it's a drive, google.com.
Okay, so then go to shared drives.
Not, yeah. And the share, go to the share with me.
No, not shared with
Share
me,
the drive, yeah.
just shared drives. And do you see now
Excuse me,
iLife?
do I put the share the drives, yeah? Share the drives.
Yes.
Yeah, share the drives.
Okay, do you
Yeah.
see iLife
Okay.
shared drive?
And then it didn't work.
Looks like I still need to
Yes.
help Bob get in there too. So if everyone who's there wants to take
Yeah,
a couple more minutes while I help people get in,
yeah, sure.
make a phone call, do something and come back, because it looks like I have a couple more people that need to get here. So I lost you in here, you went somewhere. So until you get back, Bob
Oh,
Burtness.
yes, I shared the drive, yes. Yes, yes.
I can't help you unless I know
Yeah.
where you
Yeah, yeah, I have it.
Okay, you share drives. Do you see the iLife?
Yeah, share the drive. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if you see the iLife, double click on it.
iLife, yeah.
So
So
double click
the
on it
flag is over there. Yeah.
and you'll be in the handouts.
Double click.
Yeah, or yeah. Okay.
Double click.
And you should be seeing something like this. Maybe on an iPad, you're seeing it more like this. I don't know how you iPad sees it. Okay. Is that good?
My phone. What into?
Can you tell me, Oni, are you there? You need to say, I need to move on to someone else if you're there. Did you open up iLife? Shared drive?
Yeah, almost there. Yeah, tap for iLife only. Isn't it this one?
What are you seeing? If you're in shared drives, you probably only have the iLife shared drive.
Oh yeah, I see the iLife for life only. What I see? Oh, I didn't.
Open it up. So guys, for everyone else, all of these are emails and these are all sorry, handouts and stuff that will be related to this class. But you can see them like by names like that, or you can click on this little icon on the side that shows like little boxes versus lines, and then it comes in as little icons that you can see. And the reason I'm pointing that out, there's two in particular handouts that are really important, and you can see it like lines or like little icons. And the first one in lines, then you'll see that the second choice, it says Zoom class recording links. iLife. Oh, did I not change the name? Oh, I didn't change this form. Shoot, I thought I'd finished everything for everyone. Okay, give me a second, guys. I'm sorry. This is not good. I 3 new classes starting today, starting this week, and 3 from the other day, and I thought I'd gone through all of them, but I guess I did not, so I'm sorry. Looks like I need to move that one out. But actually, that's not bad because now I can show you. I just want to make sure everyone's here before I show this one. But let me first put this in summary. So the reason I need to give me 1 second while I do this. Summer and was the CRN. I apologize. I think it was 81442. Let me see. Yeah, 81442. Okay, so here's the deal. These links are wrong because these things are taking you to the classes that I taught
Yeah.
session. But this is how it's going to work. I'm going to put the right dates in here. I'm going to delete all this information. And what you're going to have here is today's date, which is July 1st. Okay. And then you're going to have a link in here. That's a link to the class recording. This one is the old one. And then this is an AI summary. And again, this is the old one, but let me show you. We're going to click on this one and we're going to open it up. And this is going to be a summary. And it's a summary that AI, artificial intelligence, Zoom listens to the whole class and puts together a thing like this that gives you a quick recap of what the class was all about. And then it says next steps, things that you need to do. So you're going to have to click on a survey, you're going to have to watch a tutorial, stuff like that. So this is last class. It's not this one, but this is what you're going to see of our class. And then you're going to click on this link and you can see the video recording of the class. So it's me teaching. So this was
Just had to get
winter,
back
as
up.
you can see. So I'm like, man, ooh, this is the whole recording of that class. Okay. So you're going to see the whole recording of today's class. Now, the link is going to be in this handout. So I want to make sure that everyone got to this handout. I'm going to delete these links right now because these are not correct, so to say, because they're from last class. But by the end of today, what happens is it takes me like 2 hours to process this, my morning's class, whatever. Then YouTube has to process it. So sometimes it's ready by the night, and sometimes it's not ready until tomorrow morning. When you're going to come in here, you're going to be able to link to see what's the summary of what happened and the whole recording. Now, when do you have to watch this? Every time that you either need to review some portion of the class, or you need to remember what was the homework, what you needed to do, or when you missed a piece, like you had to step out because the plumber arrived, or you had to go to a doctor's appointment and showed up, half an hour before class ended and you basically missed most of it, or whatever, you're traveling. Okay. But here's the thing, since the recording is available, you are expected to watch it. And the reason I say expected to watch it is because that means that by the next week, if you don't watch it, then you'll be 2 weeks behind and then you'll begin to fall behind. So you have a whole week in between classes to watch the recording and catch up and do the homework. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know some of you guys haven't gotten here yet. So Bob, how can I help you get here? Everyone, I'm going to clear your answers again because I want to be sure if you all made it to this file, to the Zoom class recording links, and you opened it up and you found this, which is now correct because it doesn't have the old stuff, then while you're waiting, can you please fill out this survey? Click on this survey and please fill it out while I'm helping other people arrive. And if you are not there, I'm also going to put the link in the chat. I just put the link for the survey in the chat. So please fill out the survey either from the link in the chat or from this one if you got here. While you're doing that, let me help. Give me a yes if you made it to the handouts. So I want to see lots of green yeses. And yes, I know that there's 2 or 3 people or 4 who haven't made it yet. I need to see a 4. I need to see a no so that I can help you. Okay. So Bob, yes. Can you turn on your sound so that I can hear you speak? Or no, your sound is on. You somehow, I haven't heard you since the beginning of the class. I'm wondering if the sound is working. Because whenever I say yes, Bob, I can't hear you. Are you talking right now? Because I know that you've had questions. Can you go to the chat and type in your question? Type your question here, Bob. I just wrote. Because it sounds, well, I said bib instead of Bob. Because I know that you talked to me at the beginning of the session and now I haven't been able to hear you ever since. So I don't know how to help you if I can't know where you're at. I know you're there because you're answering yeses and nos and you're raising your hand, but I can't hear you. All right, everyone else, I'm not seeing yeses everywhere. So if you haven't yet gotten to the handout, give me a no so I can help you. Molly, Bob, Carol. This is the time when I teach you how to do this. If you don't know how to do this, I don't want to move forward. So please tell me. And the best way is to share your screen. So Carol, do you want to share your screen so I can give you a hand? Do you remember how to share your screen? I can walk you through it. Oh, sorry. I was asking you to unmute and just when you unmuted, so I ended up muting you again. So I did it again. Ah, that was my bad. Okay, yeah. You want to share your screen?
Work with me, Diane. I'm already having problems.
Yeah, so share your screen. So go down to the share.
Filling out the survey.
Oh, okay. You can fill a survey, but if you haven't gotten to the handouts, then
No, I haven't gotten to the handouts.
okay, so that's more important. The survey is secondary as for
Okay.
the people who already got to the handouts. Okay. Now I see that you're there. It says home Google Drive, but I'm not sure if it's the school Google Drive or not. Can you go click on this to see if that is the school Google Drive or not? Do you see what I'm circling?
Yeah, I see what you're circling.
Click on that tab just to see. Click on this tab where it says home Google Drive.
Google Drive.
Right there.
I'm not seeing that.
Your mouse is there. Yeah, there. Yeah, click on that.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of stuff that I had at work.
It's a personal drive, and that's why it's not working. So go ahead and hover over this, hover with your mouse over this, put your mouse over this there, and that little X pops up so you can close that because that's your personal Google Drive where you will not find this stuff. Same with this, close that. You're trying to sign in. All of these are your personal ones, so that's why it's not working. Close all of this, all of that. And there we go. Okay, so now go over here to your dashboard.
Uh-huh.
Just say cancel. We don't want to close your survey if you were working on it. Well, too late, you close it. Never mind. Okay, so in this dashboard, if you go lower, so you scroll down here over the red. Yeah, there's Gmail. Click on Gmail. Cool. This is your school Gmail now. It's not your personal one because you came in through the dashboard. Okay, so now here's your waffle icon. Go ahead and click on your waffle icon. Yeah, click on it and hold it. And here's your Google Drive.
Oops.
So hold it and then drag down and Google Drive. Perfect. And because you're inside of the environment of the dashboard, it's also your Google Drive.
Yeah.
So now you go over to your shared drives. Right here. Yeah, shared drives. Perfect. And here you go. You're in your iLife shared drive.
Thank you.
Made it. And here's the Zoom class recording links. Double click on that. Okay. So guys, what happened to her is very typical. People try to get into their personal drives, and in your personal drives, you have your personal stuff. It's your email, your drive. Go ahead and say that. But once you go through the dashboard, then you'll be Okay, someone, when he,
So I stop sharing?
Yeah, no. I,
when he,
yeah, I'm,
Who is that? Who's
hold on,
that?
I muted you. I muted you because I couldn't hear you. So I'm not hearing you anymore when I muted you because that sound. So if you're ready to talk to me,
yes, no, yeah, I'm okay. I just right there.
you got it.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So then I'm going to mute you so that we can not have the
Mm.
reverb. There we go. All right. So the only one missing at this point, I believe, is, let me see, Harry, you haven't answered, and Bob. So Bob Burtness, completely lost after screen about how to access handouts. Okay.
The handout.
Not access handouts after my SBCC. Okay. So Bob, can you share your screen then so that I can give you a hand? Thanks for writing that in the chat. And I know that before you tried to share your screen, that I was sharing and it didn't go through. So now I'm not sharing, so you can share yours. So go down to the share button and press, I'm turning on the fan because at this time in day is when the sun starts hitting this area and I start getting.
Yeah.
So Bob, click on the share button. And then again, in the bottom, another little button appears that's blue with white letters that says share. And I believe we practiced this at the beginning of class. That's when we were still talking. Now we can't talk, so I don't know what's happening. Bob, your sound. Yeah, you have sound on, so I don't know why I'm not hearing you. All right, Bob. I know that you wrote to me, but unless you can share your screen, since I can't hear you and I can't see you, I don't know how to help you. So can you try to share your screen or write in the chat why you can't share your screen? So here is the chat. I just wrote, here is the chat. Can you write in there? What I'm going to do otherwise is when class is over, I can stay a little bit longer, Bob, and help you one-on-one because I want to keep going with the class and I can't reach you. If I can't reach you, I can't help you. I can help anyone who can reach me, but otherwise try. Okay, you said you're trying to share the screen. Okay, I see. He's writing just to me in the chat, which I always beg people to write to everyone so everyone knows what's happening. He's writing directly to me, so he's saying things like, I'm trying to share the screen. Okay, if you're trying to share the screen and you did the 2 shares, you're probably getting into the whole permissions thing. So you need to click on the permissions. Let's do this. Let's keep going with the class because I need to move forward. Can you stay behind? Hit the green and the blue button. So are you seeing now permissions? Are you seeing open system settings? Not permissions. You'll see open system settings. Because if you see open system settings, go to the settings.
Complicated.
He's writing to me, you guys, which is why you don't know what I'm seeing in the chat, but it's direct to me, so the class isn't seeing it. Okay, you know what? Continuing to press buttons. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Hang in there. I'll help you get to the handouts after everyone's gone. Okay, Bob? Don't leave. When the class is over, don't leave. I'll stay behind and I'll help you. All right? Because otherwise, this is going to take quite a while and I have a lot more to cover today before we're done. All right? So hang in there, but don't leave because if you leave, then I won't be able to help you get to the class handouts. Now, I did want to say something to everyone. Because this is the first day of class, let me share my screen again. I will send everyone this video on an email that I will send after class. This email is a link, this link is an email, it's a link to a video that tells you what steps to follow to get to the class handouts. And it's about 8 minutes long, and it's me. So here I am. You click on this, I'll email it to you. And no, it's 10 minutes long, and it's me. And it's telling you what to do to get to the class handouts. Okay. So
And then there's
that
two other
video
options that you,
is what I'll send you in an email. So make sure to check your email. Okay. That next thing I'm going to do. So that's your first homework. Your first homework for next week is watch this video, access your class handouts, do it 2, 3, 4 times until you are really comfy with accessing your class handouts. If everyone who struggled today doesn't do it again, then by next Tuesday, you'll struggle again, right? So practice, practice, practice. It's the handling the photos and all that. We're going to get to that. It's really easy in comparison to this part. This is the hard part, getting to my dashboard, all this stuff. So I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to email you these 2 links. Just for the first week, I will email you the link to the class recording, and I will email you the link to the class summary. And I will email you the link for the share for how to get to the handouts, and I will email you the link to the survey. So you will have 4 links in an email that I will send you. And my request is, please do it. Please practice, please get in, please get comfy with it so that next class, if you have any issues during the week, you can reach out to me and ask me. But I want everyone to be able to get here because in the future, I won't be sending you the links. And by the way, we have more than 6 classes. This is just what was up last year. Okay. So when we get back, so this will be what the summary is going to look like. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the handout that I wanted to show you, which is the one that has to do with the clouds. So this is for those of you who are in my morning, is anyone here in my morning class, my intro to the Mac? Carol, anyone else here is in my intro to the Mac this time? Nope. Okay. Yolanda? Okay. My son, okay, so a couple of you guys are in my intro to the Mac class. So this morning I taught the intro to the Mac class where it's not a lot of the work that we did is talking about the cloud. So let me explain a little bit about the cloud to this group because it's truly important to know where your photos are, and it all has to do with the cloud. So when so let me just stop for a minute here and talk to you first. When you have an Apple device, be it a phone, an iPad, or a computer, or laptop, whatever it might be, a smartwatch, you set up and the device asks you to set up an account. And you might not even know because it basically says, what's your email? So you set up an email, you give them your email, and then next thing you know, it's 10 years later since you set it up and you don't even use that email anymore, but that is still your Apple account, your Apple ID, your Apple account number, username. Does that make sense? So that thing that you told them maybe 2 years ago when you got your first device or 10 years ago when you got your first device, that is still your Apple ID. And how do you find out what it is? In case you're not sure, you'll find it in your settings, either your settings of your phone, your computer, or your iPad. So I'm going to open our system settings, and I'm going to do it in the computer to start with because I'm on the computer right now. And so I'm going to share my system settings right now on my computer. Now, when you open your system settings on your computer, it might look like this or it might not, depending on your operating system. So if your system settings look just like this, let me know. And if you don't know how to open your system settings, which is so silly of me to have made that assumption, let me share my entire screen with you. And so now if you're on a Mac, you can open your system settings either by going to the Apple right here on the top corner and saying system settings. And this is a giveaway. If when you go to the Apple, instead of saying system settings, it says system preferences, which for some of you guys it might say that, then that means that you are in a slightly older version of a Mac operating system, which means that your iLife, your Photos program will operate a little bit differently too. So I need to know that. So if it says system settings, it's the newer version of operating system, and your system settings will look like this. If instead, I'm going to stop my share. And now I'm going to head over to my computer that has the older setup. And I'm going to share my computer. If instead you go to the Apple and it says System Preferences, and when you open it up, it looks like this, right? And it'll look kind of like this. Then this is that means you're in an older operating system. So I need everyone to give me a yes or a no right now. If what you open is the system settings, give me a yes. If what you open is the system preferences, give me a no. Okay, system settings is a yes, system preferences is a no. Okay, once again, you go to the Apple, and right under the Apple, it'll say open system settings or preferences. Most of you guys should see settings. There's always one or two who still see preferences. So, Bob Burtonus, I don't remember
Yes,
what
sir.
you have. Mary, if you're on Ventura and your computer can upgrade at this point, yes, you should, because, and
No.
the quick answer to that, I spend much more time on the Mac level 1, on the intro to the Mac class, which is the one I'm teaching right now, going a bit more into detail. But basically, if your computer can handle Ventura, 90% of the times it can head up to Sequoia. But Julie, for example, who's not here right now, she has a Ventura, but her computer can't go past Ventura. So if your computer says that you can go up, please go up. Why? Because operating systems are the ones that are in charge of how your Photos app works. So if your Photos app has or doesn't have an upgrade, it'll be based on whether you've upgraded your operating system. So the Ventura Photos app is a bit different than the Sonoma Ventura's app, a bit different than the Sequoia Sonoma's app, or a bit different than does that make sense? So they're all a little bit different, and I need to know what operating system you're on. If you're on the latest one, Sequoia, then that's a good thing. Now, everyone else that hasn't answered, oh, you don't have operating system, but you do have your system settings. Okay, so everyone has answered. So let me clear your answers. And no one, it seems, has the old operating system. Okay, good. So now I'm going to share that operating system. Sorry, the system settings for the operating system. And what we're going to find is that at the very top of the sidebar, it should have your names. Now, this is a school computer, so it says SBCC Business Services, right? But that is what you need to click on, your name. This is my name because it's a school computer, but you should be seeing your name up there. So everyone, please click on your name right there. And right here, you should be reading, and this that I'm pointing to right now, that's under your name, that's your Apple account. So it's your Apple account, your Apple ID, your Apple username. It's changed names so many times, but that is your iCloud account. iCloud account, Apple ID. Okay. Bob, you have system settings for Sequoia. Perfect. So you can have this way. All right. So is everyone clear what your Apple ID is? For some of you guys, it's your email that's current. For some of you guys, it's an old email address. It does not matter because this isn't about your email. It's just your username to get into your Apple account. Does that make sense? Even if it's a Yahoo email or whatever email, it doesn't matter. And I always try to explain it like people used to forget their Apple IDs. And so they started asking, what's your email? And everyone remembers their email. So they started using it, but it could, it could even be something that says my Dalmatian dog, but they chose to ask people what's your email as a solution because people don't forget it. The problem is that years later, you don't use that email anymore, and that will still always be your Apple account. Doesn't need to be related to your email address, the one that you've canceled and closed. Does that make sense? So this is your Apple ID. This is your Apple account. Now, let's head down to the word iCloud. And in here, you should be able to be following all of this because it's the same on the iPad. Okay. So we're going to click on the iCloud. Here, we're going to click on that. And now we will be on your iCloud account. So now I'm going to sit here and let me explain what the iCloud is. I'm going to open again the handout that I was trying to show. Now, here we go. So here is an example of how the iCloud works. The iCloud is just what we call something that truly isn't on the cloud. It's a server somewhere along this word in outside big cities in the deserts. They have mile-long buildings full of computers, and they hold all the gear, all the stuff. Google has it, Microsoft has it, Spotify has it, New York Times has it. Those are examples I have in here, but any company in the world has their stuff on the cloud. And to access that information, you need your account name, number, and Apple ID. Just like I always say, if you call Edison to say that the power is down, they'll say, well, what's your account number? You have to go to your bill and look at the account number. And then they go, oh yeah, I see you live on such and such street. You need an account number to show who you are versus your neighbor, right? So that Apple ID that I just showed you, that Apple account, that is your little bit of the cloud. And then to see what's in there, you need to have a password. So that password lets you see your piece of data. So if this is the Apple iCloud that holds millions of people's data, one little bit of it has your data, and that you need your password for that. Okay, you need your Apple account. Let me just make this a little bit cleaner. If this is out of the whole millions of people who use Apple, one little piece that no one else could get into except for you is knowing your Apple ID and password. I need to change this because now this is Apple ID and now they just changed the name to Apple account, and your password. Now, what's the point of this cloud? The cloud is what connects all your devices. So remember that my original question was, how many of you guys have the same photos on your computer than on your phone, than on your iPad, than on your smartwatch? It's because it depends on whether you have your iCloud enabled to hold all your photos or not. Because here's how it works. You take a picture on your phone. 90% of the people take the pictures on their phone. A few people still take them on a camera. So here I'm going to draw a little camera. I don't know. Here's your camera. It's not a very well drawn camera. There we go. A few people might take a picture on the iPad. Not many anymore that I know. And then I don't think the smartwatch takes photos. Is there one that takes a picture now? I don't think so. I think it has a remote control for your camera, but I don't think you can take a picture with even the newest smartwatch. Okay. And you don't take photos with your computer. So everyone has an iPhone to take a picture in. Those photos, once you say click, right? So you take a picture and it lives on your phone. You take 2,000 pictures and they live on your phone. What happens when your phone falls in the water, cracks, breaks, gets lost, gets stolen? What happens to all your photos? Poof. You lose your photos, right? So if your photos that are only in your phone and are nowhere else, if your phone dies, literally, it's as if a fire had taken over your house and lost all your negatives. You lose all those photos that all the trips you've been taking, all the beautiful moments of your family, they're gone. So to avoid that, there's two solutions. The easy solution is you enable your phone to send your photos to the cloud.
What do you do?
You send your photo, what happens is that you don't even send it, it's automatic. All those, if you change your settings to make sure that this happens, and for anyone who bought an Apple device in the last 2 or 3 years by now, or 4 years almost, it's the default setting. It's basically what happens. Your phone is set up, you would have to turn the feature off if you don't want it. So the phone sends its stuff to the cloud. Then it's in the cloud. So all those photos are safe. And if your photo dies a miserable death, your photos are up in the cloud. Yay, we're all happy. We didn't lose anything. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Now, how did those photos maybe get over to the computer or to the iPad? Well, if your iPad has the same settings as the iPhone, meaning it's enabled the photos, then any photo that you took on your phone goes to the cloud, and from the cloud, they go to your iPad. They don't go from one to each other. They cloud, and then the cloud sends them to the iPad. How about your computer? The same. If in your system settings in your computer, you have it set up to be able to talk to the cloud, then those photos go from the phone to the computer, and vice versa. If you took photos with a camera and you literally connected a cable to your computer to bypass this system and download the photos from the camera or from the little card straight into your computer, then those photos also go to the cloud and end up in your phone or in your iPad. So if everything is working seamlessly, everything should have the same photos. Does that make sense? Not the camera. The camera will only have whatever the camera takes. Nothing goes into the camera. If this system made sense to you, not that you yet have the settings correctly or not, but if this system made sense to you, not that you choose it, maybe you don't want to choose this. If this made sense to you, give me a yes. Like you get it. You get what I mean about everything going through the cloud. Okay. All right. So the cloud, let me just delete all of this stuff that I've been drawing. And so here's the thing. I drew the camera to the cloud. So let me draw the camera again here so I don't. Old-fashioned camera with a little flash bulb there. Okay. So here's my, here's
It's
the
old.
camera. I know, really old. Here's the camera. Here's my other devices. And what if I told my, what if I did this? I told my phone to send stuff to the cloud. After not too much, you get 5 free gigabytes. Okay. Actually, let me write that over here. 5 free gigabytes. 5 are free. Once you start taking pictures, those 5 free gigabytes are full in a matter of 0 minutes. So then you have to pay to get 50 gigabytes. You need to pay 99 cents a month. So that's $12 a year. You get 50 gigabytes. That takes a lot of pictures, but especially when you take a lot of videos, what happens is that soon you fill up your cloud space. I need space. Help. So then you need to start paying $2.99. Oh, you get 200 gigabytes and you pay $2.99 a month. This is all per month. And sorry for my not too good writing. So either $1 a month or $3 a month. Then you get 200 gigabytes. Okay, we're always talking gigabytes, which is a lot of space. Now, 99% of the people who are in this class are going to be, that's enough. You're either in the $50 gigabyte tier or in the 200 gigabyte tier. Occasionally, some people need more space than that because maybe like me, I share my cloud space with my whole family. Everyone's photos goes in the same spot. I know that Yolanda does the same. I know that there's other people who are in that situation, or if for some reason you're a professional photographer, you have ridiculous amounts of videos, you might need more space, then it jumps to $9.99 a month. So this one gets a bit more hefty, and you get 2,000 gigabytes, or we call it 2 terabytes for $9.99 a month. So it's tons more space. I don't know of anyone, unless you're a business, that needs more than that. Okay. So Harry, you're using the 2 terabytes. He's in my Photoshop class. He's had these really big amounts of material and videos and photos. That's good. But just about everyone else fits into these 2 tiers. Okay. Now, Tanya is saying that she also is using a ton. She's used 1.7 of her 2 terabytes. Okay. So I venture to say you probably have a lot of videos, because it's really, really hard to put 2 terabytes worth of stuff if you just have photos. Now, it's possible that you have a lot of files. File management is something that we talk about in my Mac classes and stuff like that too. But right now, since we're just talking about photography here, you'd have to be, someone who takes minutes and minutes of like videos that are many minutes long before you have the need for that many terabytes. So we'll talk, about what of these videos exactly. This will will work. And duplicates. There's a lot of stuff we're going to do to clear this off. Okay. Tanya is writing in the chat that she has a lot of duplicates, and she talked about videos from before, about the phone or whatever. Okay. So here's the good news, you guys. As long as the cloud has space for your stuff, right? And this is the part that really matters. As long as the cloud has space for your stuff, you can tell your phones and your computers to keep the tiny versions, like little previews. They're perfect for social media. They're perfect for even, 5x7 prints. But if you want to make a 16x20, like a real big print, you want the really high quality stuff, then that's going to be living in the cloud. Does that make sense? So the day that you want to get that big old 16x20 framed, you need to go download from the cloud, and it goes into your computer, and then you print it from there, the really big one. But for everything else, your phone, and I'm going to show you what setting you need to click on so that your phone, your iPad, and your computer don't need to be filled with all these 200,000 photos or videos. Does that make sense? Now, they will still have a preview of your 200,000 photos, but the space they occupy will be taken up by that which you pay in the cloud. Does that make sense? If that all that I've been explaining makes sense, I haven't told you yet what those settings are or anything, but if all of this is like, okay, all right, it doesn't sound like unintelligent gibberish anymore. Now I kind of know what's happening, then give me a yes with your photos. Now, there's about 5 of you guys, or 4, who said that you didn't have the same stuff. Now, here's what I was saying about what it's easy before I go into what people do that's different. If you have a photo in your phone that you love, okay, you loved it. That's supposed to be a heart, but I'm running out of shape. If you love this photo and you work on it, you change the lighting so it's better, you make it a little bit sharper, you crop it up a little bit, and you do it on your phone, you're just doing it to the same photo that's here and there. It's just being broadcast everywhere.
Yeah.
So when you look at that same photo over here, you see the beautiful cropped lighting fixed photo because it's the same one. You don't need to do it again. You don't have the good one and the bad one is still here and the other one is still there. If you decide to put this photo in a special album called The Photos That I Love the Most, well, that album will be here and that album will be there and that album will be there. Does that make sense? Because it's one photo. It's one photo, one image. Unless you have duplicates, that's a problem. We're going to deal with duplicates, but it's one image that shows up everywhere. So say that you have a photo that you don't like, and you delete it from your phone. It deletes from your camera, it deletes from your computer. So within this system, you can't like empty out half of your phone to have more space on your phone without trashing half of your photos. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because it's one. It's not a different one.
So if I delete the same one, only one left, for example, I deleted the iPad, but leave the only iPhone, and then the iCloud have a little more space.
Nope, nope,
No,
nope,
no
nope,
space.
nope. It's the other way around.
Mm,
The iCloud photo is the same one that you're seeing in your iPad. So
Mm.
if you want more space in your iPad and you delete a photo,
mm-hmm.
you have effectively deleted the one that's on the cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah, so iCloud space have a more
The
space.
iCloud has space for it, but it doesn't mean that you can delete it from here because it will delete from there. It is one and only image, and no matter which device you modify it from, it modifies everywhere. So if you delete it here to make space here, you are a very unhappy camper, if this is an unhappy face, because it's gone from there as well. It's gone from everywhere. You do not ever see it anymore. And this is if the system is working the way I described, where if you take a picture here, it shows up everywhere. And if you delete a picture here, it deletes everywhere. Now, that's not the only way to set up this whole system. 4 of you guys had it differently. Everyone else who said, yeah, I have 1,200 photos here and 1,200 photos, then it's working that way. And we're going to try that now. Well, not necessarily now, but when we get into using the photos, you'll see that. You're going to open your phone, you're going to open your computer, you're going to open your iPad, and you're going to take a picture of your keyboard, something totally unimportant, and you're going to see it appear everywhere. And then you're going to delete it, and you're going to see it disappear from everywhere, right? So you can't delete a photo to make space on your iPad and hope that you'll see it in the cloud. That's not how it works. Rather, it'll be gone from everywhere. Okay?
Mm.
The good news is that on the devices, you have little versions of it so they don't take up too much space. So you can have 200,000 and it still works, but you need to pay more to have your iCloud be bigger so that it holds more photos. Does that make sense? Not more photos. It holds the full size image. This has a small image, but it's the same thing. You just see a little preview of it. Okay. Now, that's one way that this works. Let me, I'm going to make a screenshot of this so we can come back to this. Because now I'm going to delete everything I just did there. Hi, Curtis. How are you? Nice to see you.
Huh.
I can't hear you, but
Thank you. Nice to be here. Sorry I'm late, so late.
no problem. That's the
Okay.
good news about the class recordings, which I believe, do you remember how to access? Otherwise, I will send an email with a reminder video of how to access the recordings, and I'll send the links to the first recording so you can catch up.
I
Okay?
would appreciate that. Thank you. Yep.
I'm clearing all the drawings. Plan B, you have a camera. And Curtis, this is like only plan B that only a couple people in class are in this mode. So this is just the alternative option. Plan B, you don't link the cloud to your devices. Each one is its own little island, so to say, right? So there's no connection. There's no connection. There's no connection. Each one is its own little device. And then every time you take a picture on your phone, and this applies, Harry, you said, how about when you take them on your camera? This is the same process. You basically are going to do this to your camera photos, And then you treat your phone as if it's a camera and your iPad as if it's a camera and your computers, they're separate creatures. So if you take a photo on your digital, on your big old SLR with the big lenses and all the good stuff, you know, that you go out there and take those amazing photos and well, I'm doing the perspective all wrong. Then how do you get it from here to be able to process it on your computer? Harry processes in Lightroom and in Photoshop, and quite a few of you guys do that. Well, you don't go through the cloud. You take that little card, or you take the whole camera and you plug in a cable to your computer and you import your photos from the card or from the camera into your computer. That makes sense because obviously it's not an Apple device. But then what you're doing with your phones is you're treating them the same way. Every time you take, say, 10 photos, you have to run, connect your phone with a cable to your computer to save your photos. Because if your phone dies, remember, those 10 photos are gone. What if you're traveling for 3 weeks? You've got 3 weeks worth of photos in there. Your computer's back home in Santa Barbara and they're living in your phone. And then in the airport, as you arrive in Santa Barbara, someone jostles you, your phone falls in the wrong way, it cracks, it dies. And when you get back from your 3 weeks trip, you didn't have your computer next to you. So those 3 weeks of photos, they die. You have never been able to transfer them. So if you're going to do this, you need to make sure to connect all the time and download as soon as you can, but you can only do it if you come home to your computer. But if you didn't bring your computer on your trip, then, you know, you have to wait 3 weeks and all those photos are in danger in your phone until you get there because there's no way to get them to your computer. Does that make sense, you guys? It's not a bad solution. It's the only solution for when you take a picture with the camera, you have to bring it in and download it. That makes sense. But as long as you're willing to lose a month worth of photos, then you can connect once a month. If you're willing to lose 3 months worth of photos, connect every 3 months. Once you connect, you pass them over here and then you have them in 2 places. That's called, it's a very rudimentary way of backing up. But it's backing up. And then nothing goes through the cloud. Now, I know that I'm going to talk really, really worst case scenario here. But what if nothing's on the cloud, okay? So there's been nothing on the cloud because we've gone straight from computer to camera, computer to camera. Same with the iPad. If you take a picture with an iPad, most people don't, but if you do, you would have to go in and connect it. Okay, so then what happens is that a flood, a flash flood or an earthquake or something comes in and suddenly you lose your camera and your computer. Horrible, right? You lost the photos that were on your phone and you lost the photos that were in your camera. Hopefully, if you've taken my Mac classes and you have done a backup of a different kind, you might have a little backup over here. But that's only if you're the kind of person who does that. If not, there's nothing in the cloud. So you basically, it's like a devastating fire that deleted and burned all your negatives from the past where all we had was negatives. So if instead you had gone with the other plan, and let me go ahead and open what I mean by the other plan. If you had let me share my screen. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm explaining the good and the bad of these choices. If you had your photos in the cloud, when suddenly something devastated all your devices at once, well, guess what? You can go buy a new device. You give it your Apple ID account. All your photos are in the cloud. They download back into your device and you didn't lose anything. So that's really the kind of what you're paying when you pay $99, $299.99. You're paying for having all your stuff in a place that isn't physically in the same place as your phone, and thus you can't lose it. There's other reasons, but there you go. So, oh, I didn't mean to, but I guess I deleted the drawings here. So if you don't connect your devices through the cloud, they are basically connecting them individually. You need to plug in that camera, download the stuff. Now, it's not bad, and that's what we do with big cameras anyway, right? And then another thing that we do is, how many of you have like more photos just lying around in little flash drives or things like that from before, or CDs or things like that that are separate? Well, at some point, if you import them in and open the Photos app and organize everything together in the Photos app, then you can have all your photos together. We're going to talk about what that means and how you would organize them. And all of that is coming up, how to organize them. But it doesn't matter because even if your phone is connected to the cloud, it's all these other photos that you take when you have a digital camera, when you have little devices around the house that hold your photos from one thing or another, that you still need to connect with, literally by cable, the old-fashioned way, to your computer, put them all together in the Photos app. And then the good news is, if you do have the system of the cloud going, is that then the Photos computer will send them up to the cloud and into your phone and into your iPad or wherever you want. Maybe what you're going to want to do is just have your phone and your computer connected and not the iPad, because the iPad, all you do is play games, or the other way around. You have your iPad connected because you want your photos to handle them in here, which is bigger, and you never handle them on your computer. That would be, for example, Unhee. She doesn't have a computer, so she's going to organize her stuff on her iPad and on her phone, and it's these two that are connected, and her computer doesn't play into it. Does that make sense? So these are all the systems and ways, and for better, for worse, the different possibilities of how we're going to get our photos to connect. Now, you cannot go from photo to iPad, from camera to iPad, for example, nor from camera to phone. Okay. The new iPad Pro, very expensive iPads, are beginning to function a little bit more like a laptop, and you could probably connect a cable and bring them in. But any other iPad, except for the most newest, most expensive one, you can only bring into the laptop. And from there, send them to the cloud to populate your phone and your iPad. Okay, I'm going to clean the answers. If everyone understands the system that we're talking about, not yet how to set it up, but the system of plan A's and plan B's, you don't have to choose one over the other. It depends on your needs. So if when you answered at the beginning, no, my phone has, 100,000 photos and my computer has 10,000. Well, a lot of your photos are not in your computer. It's probably because your settings are such that you're not connecting. And here's the only negative of that. The negative of that version of that is that you're going to have to start paying more, because if you set up this solution, now I have one marking over the other. Let me do a screenshot of, let me do a screenshot of this so that I can get rid of it. Here we go. If this is the setup that you have instead, it's more work, but just as possible. Then beware of two things. When you work on a photo here to make it prettier and better, for any reason you decided that you worked on it, you've cropped it, you've done whatever, and then you send it to your computer, fine. Then your computer will have the upgraded version. But what if you've already transferred all your photos to your computer? They're still in your phone, and now you choose it and you crop it and you make it. Well, that and that are two separate devices, and this photo has been modified and this one hasn't. What if you put this photo in an album called Best Photos? Well, this guy never found out, because these are not updating albums and organizations and editing and all of that. So this system implies that you always put your work in one device and then you do all your work on that device, and whatever's on your other device is not connected. Okay? So now I'm going to clear all of these answers and options, and I am going to stop this share, and I'm going to show you.
Deanna, did you need a class reminder now? It's 10 minutes of
Yeah,
15
we're
minutes left.
we're 10 minutes away. Thank you so much. My little alarm that just rang, but thank you. I always appreciate an extra reminder. So now, how do we know if our photos are going to the cloud? Well, the first one was basically if the same amount of photos are. Let me see, Mary, can you clarify photo lives on your phone? My issue always becomes running out of memory even though I'm backing up to the cloud. Okay, so let's go to your system settings, everyone. So that was a question that Mary asked. Open your system settings. If your phone is running out of space and you're going to the cloud, we're going to do some searching now. So now I'm in the computer system settings. We have 10 minutes left to go. So we're going to do some stuff that we're going to clarify and repeat next week. But I'm introducing the concept. I want you guys to rewatch this video, this part, really think it through, look at your settings, so that when we talk about it again next week, we're not starting from zero. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Here's the system settings. How did I get here? In case someone didn't come here before, I opened the system settings. I went up to my name. And once I'm there, there's my Apple account. I go to the iCloud. So now I'm looking at the cloud, not my computer, but I'm looking up at the cloud now, right? This is showing me what is up in that cloud, the one that I've been pointing to. And it tells me that I've got half of my cloud spaces used up. What's saved to the cloud? And here I see photos, 1,271 items. So when I click on photos, if this is on and synced, like this is connected, right? Then it says store your photos in the cloud. This means that your photos are being stored in the cloud, but you can view and share them from all your devices, right? So this is that first scenario, that your photos are really stored in the cloud and all your devices see them. There you go. Please be careful. This is one that you do not want to turn on and off. Please do not turn it on and off. If you turn it off right now, you end up in an interesting problem, which is that all your photos stay in the cloud and disappear from your devices if it was already on. So don't turn it off unless that's your goal, and then you would have to re-download all those photos to your devices if you're trying to separate them. That's possible, but don't do it willy-nilly. If, on the other hand, this is off and it is not syncing right now to the cloud, which like 4 or 5 of you had that system, then if you do suddenly turn it on, what you'll discover is that you might need more than 50 gigabytes. And so you're going to have to up your payments from $1 a month to $2.99 a month, right? So that's the counterpart of it. If you put your stuff on the cloud, you need to pay for the space. So you need to go either to $12 a year, 99 cents for 50 gigabytes, which is what I'm paying here, or 200 gigabytes, that's $2.99 a month. That's like $36 a year. And then just a minute amount of you, like Carrie is the only one here, and Tanya, 2 of you guys, at this point seem to be paying $9.99 a month for 2 terabytes. And we're going to go in and see how well that space is being used or not to make sure that that is worth it. But yeah, it would seem so, because even if you get rid of some stuff, it's not like you're going to get rid of that much stuff. You could go down all the way to 200 gigabytes to be able to pay $2.99 if you have 1.7 gigabytes. Now there's other stuff that goes in there. You could have all of your mail, all of your messages, and this is a really hidden spot that people don't know. And this is what I talk about in my Mac Level 1 class that starts in a couple weeks. It's all about storage. And a lot of people in their texts have ridiculous amounts of videos that you send back and forth from your friends. Guess what? All those videos take up space in the cloud. All those photos and videos that you sent there have nothing to do with the photos that you yourself use. But if every time you take a video, you send it to one person, 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, you now have that video in your phone and then in the cloud 4 times, 5 times. So that same video is taking up 5 times the space. So there's a bunch of things you can do to bring that down, aside from getting rid of the images or the videos themselves. Does that make sense? That is stuff that we deal with in my Mac level 1 class. In this class, I'm dealing with photos only, but all the rest of the things that can be on there, your files, all your other designs, all of that is also taking up space in there if you have it on the cloud. So maybe that's part of your 1.7 terabytes and not necessarily only your photos. And I'm just saying for those of you who have more stuff in there. And it's a valid choice to have your stuff in there. In my drive here, I have 14 gigabytes. If you have a big number in here, Harry and Tanya, if you have a number here that's really big, then that's not your photos. That's the rest of your files in your messages. So you can look at these numbers. And on top of that, like I have stuff in your email. If you click on See All over here, click on See All. Then you can see, well, no, that's not where you would go. You would go to manage over here, and under manage, you would see how much space each one of these apps is taking. So beyond just these, there's many others, right? And each one of these will show you how much space they're taking, okay? So you might discover that you have a ton of music that you make and you've been storing in your computer, and it turns out that you didn't even know that it was taking up as much space, because music and video are the two that takes up the most space of them all. Then comes photos. Okay. So guys, I'm going to show you on the phone this exact same thing. So I'm going to share my phone now. And for those of you who have an iPad, you can do it also on your iPad. So how do you find all of the stuff that I've been talking about? The iCloud settings, the photos, the space used, the apps. Hold on, Harry has a question. Can you retreat the images I deleted a few years ago? If you deleted something a few years ago, from where? From your phone or from your computer? Or because if you deleted them and you had no physical backup, then they're gone. If you had a physical backup from a few years ago that's still sitting around in your house, you might have them there. You had a time machine. Like in Mac level 2, I talk about backing up, and you could have, it's very possible that you might have a time machine from 3 years ago that has all your old photos. But if you deleted them inside of the cloud, they only last, anything deleted inside the cloud lasts 1 month. So you can have 1 month to make it up. Okay, so here's my computer. Sorry, here's my phone. I'm gonna walk out of photos and I'm gonna go into settings. Now, if you know where your settings are on your phone, that's good. If you don't know where your settings are on your phone, then you need to do a search. So you can go down here, and I'm having, hold on, my mouse is starting. Why is my mouse moving? I need to stop my share because my mouse is doing weird stuff. I know. That's my alarm telling me that I need to, give me a second. My mouse. Why are you doing this? Wow. Sorry, guys, I'm not able to disconnect from, yeah, okay, so I'm going to share again. I had my something was pressing on my mouse and I wasn't able to use it in order to teach. Okay, so you go down here to the search, click on search. If you don't see it, if you go back and forth and you don't see the settings, then go to the search and then type in set, that's it. Just settings, and it'll appear at the top here under the top hit, and that's how you find it and you open it. So give me a yes when you get to the phone settings. Give me a yes if you got to the phone settings. All right. So now, and in the phone settings, if you were wherever you were, right now I was in something else, wherever you're at, go all the way up to the top until you get back to the main settings. So it could be that you left it, if you were in my other class and you left it under general or something, because we were working on that kind of stuff, then just back out 1 or 2 times until you get to the general. And then pull all the way to the top so that you're at the place where over here you should be seeing your name again. Okay. You should be seeing your name right there. Okay. And now let's click on that name, same as we did in the computer. That brings us to the cloud information. Here's our cloud account. And here's how we get into the cloud. Click on the iCloud, and here we are. Same as before, it'll say that I've used half of my 50 gigabytes because it's the same cloud. I'm reaching to it through my different device. And then as I go down, I'll see save to the cloud, my photos, and it says 1271, same as it has been saying everywhere. And it basically, it says that I have, if I go into it, it says I have 10.89 storage. And one thing that I didn't show you on the computer, but I'm showing you right now, so everyone make sure you got here, open your photos, and I forgot to show you this in the computer, but it's the same. I'll show it to you here. This is what really matters, guys. Optimize. This is the most important thing. If you're using the cloud, okay, for those of you who are using the cloud, you should have a choice to optimize your iPhone storage. Now, this is where I told you, and I'm opening it because I have a newer phone here. This is my phone that school gives me. It's an iPhone 10, but I'm opening the same spot on my personal computer just to make sure that it looks the same, because sometimes these things have changed. And yeah, it looks exactly the same. It says optimize iPhone storage. So what does this mean? That your phone, if your iPhone is low on space, full resolution photos and videos are automatically replaced with smaller device-sized versions. Full resolution versions are going to be basically living in the cloud and can be downloaded anytime you want, the full resolution versions. If instead of that, you click on download and keep originals, then your phone is going to be flooded with the full size of all the photos and videos. And unless you have a very big phone, it'll probably start yelling and going, I have no space, I have no space. So to Mary's question, do you have this one turned on or not? But also you're the one who didn't have the photos turned on. So originally you were one of the people who said that you did not have the same amount of things on your phone than on your computer. I remember that now.
Right.
So
I have
then,
on my phone, but not on my computer.
yeah. So what that means, and I'm not sure yet, is if that means that you don't have the cloud set up with your photos at all.
Yeah, I do. I do. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because then otherwise, if you don't, then it doesn't give you that option. And the full size photo has to be in your phone. That's another one of the negatives that I forgot to mention of
Yeah.
having.
No, and I have this checked.
And you
So,
do.
yes.
You still are running out of space on your phone? Or out of what?
Yeah, no, I'm okay. The short of it is I got a new computer and I intentionally did not enable iCloud for photos on my new computer because I kept blowing through computers. So, but this is super helpful, Diana. I got it now.
Okay. Well, on your computer, and I'm going to stop my share and reshare now the system settings on the computer. This is my computer now, system settings. And again, when I click on photos, in this one, where does it tell me? It's in a different place that you get to tell it to not have the big size photos. And I don't remember where it is. Maybe it's in the app itself. Let me just
I have a line after optimize iPhone storage that says download and keep originals, and
Yeah.
that's not checked. Should that be checked?
No, download and keep originals is when your device gets filled with all the space, all the stuff.
Got
You
it.
want stuff to be in the cloud.
Got it.
Anyway, so I need to figure out right now where on the computer it is because it used to be in the same spot, but it looks like it's a different place. But the computer will also say, oh, maybe it's in the, it used to be right here. Okay, they changed where it is, but on the computer you can also say, no, just give me the previews, just like on the phone, and keep the big stuff on the on the cloud. And that way your devices shouldn't be getting full of stuff. Devices being usually we call a device your handheld device, but also in this case, your phone, your computer, you might not want to have the full size stuff on your computer. I was running out of space on my computer and it's such an old computer, 2015, it was beginning to creak and crank. And so I just went ahead on that computer and I turned the whole system on. So I was able to send all my stuff up to the cloud. And phew, that totally relieved my computer and it began to work again. And I might give it another year or two of life just because I took the stuff off. It's still there. I see it, you guys, just like I'm seeing these photos and these phones. Everything is on my computer. I don't notice the difference as far as functionality, but the load of the weight of it is now held by the cloud instead of my old computer. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that's the goal for when you are running through computers, like you're saying, or you're always saying that you're being full. It used to be more that phones were the ones that would tell you all the time, my phone is full, my phone is full. And it's because it was carrying all these photos. But by putting them in the cloud, phones don't necessarily get very full right now anymore. That's not to say they can't, especially a smaller, older phone. But the device basically keeps making smaller and smaller previews, and the big stuff stays on the cloud. And then you can have space. So all of today's class, you guys, 4:57. I'm over by 2 minutes, so I want to A, apologize for going over. B, I needed to kind of round that sentence off. It's been the boring but crucial stuff. We will actually work on photos and start having a lot of fun next class. But if any of this was hard to digest, I will slowly be repeating it. We'll slowly be talking about it. And it's not the first time you're going to hear any of this, but also we'll get into some more fun stuff, which is dealing with our photos. Okay. So look at your settings, rewatch the recording, check the email where I'm going to have all this information for you. Get ready to have questions by next Monday. Write them down or, oh, I forgot. So try stuff. And if something doesn't work, write it down. Okay. So that you have ways to remember what your question, what didn't work by the time we get to, not next Monday, sorry, next Tuesday. Okay. So if you need to stay behind and ask questions, please stay behind. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Harry. Bob Burtness, stay behind. I'll help you get into your class files. And everyone else, if you want to stay and hear questions and answer questions and that kind of thing and ask questions, please stay. Other than that, officially, you're all free to go. And I'll see you guys in a week. And if you want to know more about all of the Mac stuff, I'm teaching the Mac level, the intro to the Mac class, which sounds like it's beginners, but I'm doing all this cloud information right now. Sign up for my intro to the Mac class, which is full. So you need to email me and I'll send you an ad code. And then you can sign up and it's twice a week. It's Tuesday, Thursday mornings. Everything else is once a week, but that's Tuesday, Thursday. So if you want to take it, you would have to know more about your Mac because it's not just about files, but it's your files, the same conversation we're having about files, then that's Tuesday, Thursday morning. Okay. Email me about that. And Bob, please stay. Bob Burtness, please stay so I can help you. And anyone else who wants to know, go for that. And let me see, I think there was one more question. Can you clarify lives on? Okay, that I did. Retrieve the images. No, I'm just make sure I didn't lose any photos. Thanks for your help. Oh, Tanya. Um, All right, so why don't you email me, Tanya, with this question, and maybe once I stop the recording of the class, because the class is over, then we can talk a little bit, okay? Let me see. Bob, anyone else have a question before I try to help Bob? Any burning questions? No?
I'll see you Wednesday for the Illustrator class.
Okay, I'll see you in Illustrator. Yeah, by the way, especially Tanya, I'm teaching Illustrator and Photoshop and InDesign on Wednesday. So if you want to take any of that and based on what you just wrote, you might want to do some of that. Other than that, I'll see you guys on Tuesday or on Tuesday, Thursday, your Mac students, or on Thursday and Friday, Photoshop. I'll see some of you guys
Thank you.
around. Otherwise, just on Tuesday. Bye. All right, Bob, are you ready? Bob Burtness? Yeah, the other Bob is gone. So now it's just Bob. Are you ready? Have you been able to figure out what's up with the sound that you are unmuted, but we can't hear you? I can't hear you. No? Because you turned off your video. At the very beginning, I saw you in person as well. You had video and sound on, and now the video is off and the sound seems to be connected, but it's not there. My suggestion, I think you probably went down to the sound and connected to a system, a sound system that is not your Mac system. So I'm going to show you for a second something that might be the solution. And then it's a solution for me to be able to help you by speaking with you. The solution to the fact that at first I was hearing you and I don't now. So it's not about the class handouts. It's about trying to help you figure out how to communicate here during the class. So here's what I'm going to share. If you go down to the bottom left of your Zoom, and when you see the audio button, next to the audio button, there's this little like up arrow kind of caret. When you click on that, you probably are seeing it pointing down, in fact, because before you click on it, it's pointing down. Once you click on it, then you will see this. All this is going to open up. And I have a feeling that you might have changed the settings and that your microphone is using something that's not the system, or like you might want to put everything into same as system or something. Test your speaker and your microphone to see what's happening. Yeah, because otherwise it's very hard. And then this is the part that's making it hard. And you left the video. Same thing with the video. If you click on the video, I saw you once at the beginning of class, and now the video is completely obliterated. So you might have changed whatever video is working, because it's really hard to help you if I can't. So I can hear, yeah, you can hear me, I can tell, but it would be so much easier to help you if I could hear you. And your audio is on, but the fact that I can't hear you means that it's some disconnect going on, because you can hear me, but I cannot hear you. So what the disconnect is, I don't know. But if you go to test speaker and microphone, then you can hear, you can hear, like, you test it and you'll see it'll say one of those two is not working. Clearly your speaker is working because you can hear me, but your microphone's not working because I can't hear you. And your camera is not working because I can't see you. And in fact, it doesn't even pop in. Test the speaker and microphone to start with, and they might tell you what's wrong. So click on test speaker and microphone. And then when you do that, it might show you that something isn't working. Tell me what's happening. Are you testing? Okay, since you see, this is where I'm just sitting there not knowing what you're doing because, okay, heard ringtone. Device working properly. Try volume. I mean, could it be that your volume is off? No, I mean, so if you test your microphone where you speak, it says that it's working. I don't know what the ringtone is. When I okay. So now after you said yes to that, now try the microphone. Do you hear a replay? Does it say yes and you can hear yourself? So you first test the speaker and then it goes to your microphone and you should be able to test that, say something, and you should hear yourself back. So first is a ringtone. The second one, when you do that, is your microphone. So after you say yes, you hear the ringtone, it says speak and pause. Do you hear a replay? And if it not, then you say no, try another microphone and try another microphone. So the window that I'm looking for is this one. Speak and pause. And it comes right after this, the other test. And if you basically say something, and then you should hear your own replay. And if that doesn't work, then you try another microphone. Or if it works, you say yes. You should hear anything you say said back to you. You stopped writing, so now I don't know what you're doing. Okay, you're not writing to me. I'm just sitting here. I don't know what to do. Bob? Yeah, that's the ringtone. That's a speaker, but it's that we know that you can hear me. So the speaker we know is working. It's the next one, the microphone that you need to test, the one that I was just sharing with you. As soon as you say yes to the ringtone, then it switches to speak and pause. Do you hear a replay? I'm showing it to you on the screen. Yes, you can hear me, but I cannot hear you, which means your microphone might not be working. And it is that what we're trying to fix now. You can hear me, that's your speaker, and it says the ringtone is working. Good. Test one. Test two is the speak and pause to hear replay. And if that works, you're testing speaking and mic. Okay. Let me know when you're done with that test. Ow. Actually, I do have another solution. Can you hear me? It just occurred to me. Let me just stop my share. You're testing the speaker and the microphone. Okay. Here, let me just say something while you're doing that. I did see you briefly and I heard you briefly. We said a welcome at the beginning. Occasionally, and I had forgotten about this because it's been quite a few years, but occasionally the audio of Zoom just doesn't want to work. And the only solution actually is to leave the Zoom. And when you come in, suddenly it's all working again. Somehow the stuff went. So if nothing that you're doing now with testing the microphone and speaker works, then hopefully you have two options. You can go to restart another Zoom and hope it works. Or B, you can call tech support, SBCC tech support, and then you can troubleshoot the whole Zoom thing with them because this is as much as I can go. And after that, I don't know how else to help you with this. And you need Zoom tech support, you know. But it could be that if you just leave and come back in. So I'll leave the class going. I'll start working on the videos and stuff that I need to work on. I'll leave the class open. Go ahead and leave the class and come in again. And let's hope that somehow that might be the fix. All right. Let's see if for some miracle, if you unmute yourself, if maybe I can hear you this time. That would be a coolest thing that could happen. I mean, you're not. Okay, can you try to speak? Oh, that's bad news. Bad news that I can't hear you. Well, if you check out the email that I sent you, the welcome to iLife class email, at the bottom of that email, and let me go ahead and share my email for a second with you. When I wrote it, let's see, welcome to living the iLife. At the very, very bottom of that email, it said non-credit student tech support right here. Call on these hours, and these are the updated hours. So call this number between basically 11 a.m. to 7:50 p.m. except for Friday when they finish at 1:50 p.m. So why didn't they're still, so it's 7:50 p.m. That means they're still there. So why don't you call this number and tell them, I don't know what's happening, but the meeting, just tell them that that it's, Zoom isn't working. Your camera is not working and your sound is not working. Okay. So that's in the email that I sent you because it's almost impossible to help you. It's like not able to see your things, not able to work on things. And as far as the sharing your screen, you need to be able to, since I can't walk you through it because we can't talk about what your steps are, let me show you what's going to happen. When you try to share your screen, it'll say open system settings. It'll open your system settings in this privacy and security mode, and you'll be here in accessibility. And what you need to do is you need to look for the zoom.us. It'll be gray and it'll be like that. And you'll have to flip it to turn it on, and it'll ask you for your password. And then once you're done, you can go back to Zoom and press share and then share again, and then it'll work. Okay. But you need to basically right now, if you can go to your privacy and security, and then within privacy and security, go down to accessibility. So this is now, because that way you can start sharing your screen, which was the original problem, which I couldn't help you. So you know how to open your system settings and go to privacy and security. And then once you get there, it's like long, there's a ton of stuff. Find accessibility and click on accessibility and then turn on Zoom. Now, if Zoom isn't there, because you're not coming in from Zoom, Zoom might not be there, then you might need to click on this little plus sign and then put in the password and then go find the app that you want. But that's about all I can do right now, other than if I can't hear you anymore. So please call tech support to figure out how to fix your Zoom camera and sound. And watch the recording for how to get to the class handouts once you've managed. Well, that you can do anytime before or after tech support, but the Zoom, it would be good if it were to be fixed before next week so that we can communicate, so I can help you. Because a lot of the times, the only way to help you is if you share your screen. Okay? All good? Give me a thumbs up or a something so I know that all of this went through before I turn off the class. Hello? You all good? See, this is the part that's frustrating. I'm not getting back from you anything. So I don't know if you're there, if you're not there, if you can hear me, you can hear. You keep saying you hear me, but then can you find the yes and the no, or can you speak? And then I don't know. Oh, there we go. Thank you. I'll try to wind my way through this labyrinth. Perfect. Yeah, it's a bit frustrating, but you got, hopefully the tech support people can help you. If the SBCC non-credit people can't help you, then the credit people have a tech number that ask the non-credit tech support to connect you to the credit tech support, because they have a Zoom system, and maybe the non-credit are doing it too, where they can actually connect with you on Zoom, and then they can try to fix your Zoom or work with you on the Zoom. Okay, but don't take no from them. Just insist that they don't want to help people's computers. It's a personal issue, but this is Zoom in order to take your Zoom class, right? So you need to make sure you tell them you're taking a non-credit class that's on Zoom, and that this is tech support that is part of SPCC in order to take your class. Some people ask them to fix their, Photoshop. No, they won't work with your Photoshop, but they will work with Zoom, because Zoom is what you need in order to take the class. Okay, so don't give up and have them help you with that. All right. Bye, Bob. See you next week.